Night Owls.
Turn on Night Owls.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And now, the forerunner to Facebook, where your words tell 1,000 Instagrams. Use your phone for making that call. And get talking across the northeast, please. Because this is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Hello, welcome everybody. Just choking on my drink. What a way to start. You are with the big one, Alan Robson on the Night Owls, of course. Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Thank you very much for joining us. Thanks to everybody also watching on Facebook and YouTube and all those other places. Thank you very much for being with us. Tonight, a momentous evening, and your challenge is a good one too. We just basically want you to ring in and tell me your night owl moments. Now, we've had an awful lot of moments, almost half a century of moments, can you believe, from the daftness and the stupidity of early youth, which has never really left us. We've taken that all the way through. So we want your stories. And there's a good reason for that, because we are letting you know that at the end of this month, Night Owls will come to an end on Greatest Hits Radio Northeast. Now, the Night Owls goes on forever, and of course it will, and we will simply find another way of doing our thing, along with all of the other Robson's World stuff, the Ghost Hunt on Facebook, YouTube, all of the other bits and pieces. We will be supplementing with a new podcast and a whole host of other things. So you can't miss me because I'm not going away. Okay, that's the deal. However, on Greatest Hits, we have enjoyed a couple of bonus years, really. So we're going to celebrate tonight. So pick up your telephone, give us a call on 0191 488 3188 to remember, well, Night Owls. What's your memory of stuff you've heard over close to half 100 years?
Since I've put you on, it's been an absolute pleasure listening to you.
Well, thank you, mate. Appreciate it.
Honestly, it just makes me laugh. Everyone's so friendly. It's like a communion, you know. It's brilliant.
It's certainly something. Like a mad person's picnic.
Is that what it's called? Mad person's picnic. Well, you've got, honestly, my friend, you've got a lot of respect, Harry, I'll tell you.
Well, thank you. It's lovely that you say it, Mark. Now, on top of that, of course, you will remember that not so very long ago, we were the only phone-in taking calls live from the Manchester bombing, and we got amazing calls.
Our daughters were there, and we got to pick them up at the end of the show.
Right.
We'd walk through the tunnel to where the booth is, where the bomb had gone off.
Right.
And I'd said to my husband, I need the toilet, and I was going to go into the arena part itself.
Right.
And he says, no, we'll go to the train station because there's an adjoining platform.
That's right, yeah. So that's where it went off.
Yeah, that area, and we'd walked 1 minute down that platform, and all we heard was that almighty boom, and we looked at each other, and it was like, it's a bomb, with other words in it, obviously.
Yeah.
Turned around, and people just running towards us, and then panic, we need to get to our girls, 14 and 17.
So did that mean you were running towards the people that were running out?
We were, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
You shouldn't do that, we know, but your instinct is to get to your children.
Sure.
And we ran back, and where we got to the foyer, there was just people all over. It was absolutely just blood and guts everywhere, really. And then we went to go to get into the arena itself, and I looked down, and I was a torso of a man, and I'm sure, and my husband's sure, that was him, the bomber. I stood on his intestines when I was trying to push the door to get into the arena to see if we could see the girls. And we pushed the door, and we could just see everybody fleeing in the other direction. So we like sort of came back from where we came back through the bodies and just looking. There was people with like belts with tourniquets on their legs, and where they had legs blown, and we sort of just ran out back towards the front of the arena to try and find our girls. But 1 minute earlier and it would have been enough. And
presumably there were people there injured, waiting for help and not knowing what the hell to do, because
there were just people lying on the floor looking up, and people all you see was like, I didn't focus on anybody's face. I couldn't do that because we were just in blind panic trying to get to our kids, and it was awful. We had to run through that.
Amazing stories that you wouldn't get anywhere else. And of course, when people are in need, one of the biggest honours in my life has been being there for someone who needs to talk that second, otherwise something horrific would happen. So you know the Stanley knife?
Yeah.
Where is it?
I can't tell you.
No, you have to tell me, because I've helped you, so you've got to help me now, haven't you, Hannah?
No, I can't tell them.
Well, I'm not going to tell them. What I want you to do is just to get the Stanley knife, open the door to where they are, and just slide it along the floor to them, and then shut the door. So then you'll just be on your own again. So just go and do that for me now, Hannah, please. It would make me really happy if you would do that for me. Do that. Don't do it for yourself. Do it for, although it's good for you too, but do it for me. Do it for me. Have you done that?
It was a Brenda.
Right. Thank you very much. I'm very, very, very proud of you. Thank you very much for that. That meant so much to me. I really appreciate that, because that would just have made everything worse, wouldn't it? Yeah, brave girl, and fighting the demons. Like, we all have demons, we all have monsters on our shoulders that we carry around on a daily basis, and the ability to help somebody ease that burden just a bit. And of course, from the fabulous and amazing people's real lives, we also get the daft stuff too.
Friend got a downstairs pastor.
You're kidding?
No.
But you had your nipple pierced. Did that not knack?
It did for about an hour after I had it done. For about an hour and a half, 2 hours, it stung.
Were you in the salon when she was getting hers done?
Mm-hmm.
But she was getting it done, like, down there.
Down there, aye.
She must have screamed. You must have heard her.
I didn't. But when she came out, she was walking normally. And I thought she hadn't had it done. I thought I went to her house, and I made her drop her pants up to have a look.
So what does it look like then?
Hers looks awful.
And what about the piercing?
That looks not bad.
Oh, I'm sorry. The stuff you can't make up. There's another story that I don't know whether you ever heard about, but this was fairly early back in the day. And I can't tell you because it was something, frankly, a little bit politically incorrect. But I made a joke at someone's expense, let's just put it that way. And a lorry driver driving along past Newcastle's metro centre was laughing so much he drove his truck down the siding and it tipped over completely. And I had to write a statement for court telling them what I'd said, which was embarrassing at the best. And because he put in his claim that he couldn't stop laughing because he heard something on the show. And there's plenty to laugh at, frankly. There was one moment when a guy who used to listen from Germany rang the show, and I played a little bit of a practical joke on him. And as we're just after April, for April Fool's Day, fooling a German fan. This lad's a German who studied at Durham University, and night owls was a big part of his life. And he's called.
And I thought, well, it's the right time to try to call, and now I'm through. Your show is still going on and still successful like it was?
No, it finished years ago. This is my private number. I thought you were just ringing through to the house.
Oh, this is your very private number?
Yeah, this is my house. I've just had my tea.
Really? I didn't wake you up.
No, you're all right. I was watching some late night telly. There's nothing on the radio this time of night.
Oh, Jesus. I'm very sorry. You know, I thought it was on the radio. Incredible. Oh, why? How come?
They sent me to the home where I am now with, all of the other broadcasters that nobody wants anymore.
Uh-huh.
And we just live here and, we play drafts and chess and nod and occasionally dribble. That's all we do now.
All right.
But it was lovely of you to bring back some really happy memories. Of course you're on the radio.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, well, don't fool me, it's not first time I'm talking to you. No? Jesus, my God. Okay.
You felt really guilty there, didn't you?
Yes, certainly, because, it's not the right time to wake somebody up at night. But in England, it's about 11:45, right?
It's got to be 1:45 where you are then.
Right.
Right.
It is.
There you go. Bless him. And we still get emails from him. He's fabulous. Now, one of the other great memories, I tried desperately to find the actual call. A lot of you remember it because you heard it live on air, but it was during the Falklands conflict. And in the middle of a battle, a guy called me. We couldn't find the clip, but I did find a clip of me talking about the clip that we couldn't find in the first place. One of the most amazing phone calls that I've ever taken on Night Owls came from, I think it was a thing called Goose Green. Was Goose Green there? And I'm on air. This is absolutely true because some Night Owls will remember this call. I'm on air, and the person on the switchboard says, Alan, forget who's on your list. You have to take this call right now. And I take the call and I hear gunshots, ka-ching and ricochets and noises in the background of blowing up things. And I'm, what the hell's that? And it was a guy who, it was his wife's birthday. He was in a phone box in the Falkland Islands, under attack by the Argentinians, and he decided in the middle of it all, oh, there's a phone box. How much change have I got? And it took about 20, 50 pence pieces, and it kept going, boop, 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 and he kept throwing more money in there. Can you just tell Wallace? And it was, I wish her a happy birthday. Tell her I'm all right. Boom, boom. And stuff going off in the background. It was amazing, absolutely amazing. It was an absolute highlight. And then, of course, one of the great things is right across the age group, from the pink and crinkly to the very, very young. And I loved this call from a little girl who, radio to her, strange concept. Because she absolutely believed that when she was talking to me on the phone, that I could see her too.
What's your favourite pop star?
What's my favourite pop star?
Yeah.
I don't know. What's your favourite pop star?
Rachel Stevenson.
Rachel Stevenson. And why do you like Rachel Stevenson then?
Because I like the new song where it goes, some girls always get what they wanna, all let's seem to get is the other dreams of number one, less forever. It's the only way to make you feel better.
And can you do the little dance as well, Amy?
Okay, wait.
Can you do the dance as well?
Okay. Some girls always get what they wanna, all I seem to get is the other dreams of number one, last forever. It's the only way to make you feel better.
Are you doing the dance, Amy? Hey, fantastic. You can hear her. It's hard to dance and sing at the same time. And for the joy of that, the other thing was, most of you know, if you've listened to me for any length of time, I'll never make fun of somebody unless they deserve it, but I will laugh with them. Now, on one occasion, we had a guy who decided to tell me about his love life and how he fancied a guy who looked a bit like Elvis. So I decided that was the perfect time to try and get in as many Elvis pieces of music references as I possibly could, and there's loads in here. However, Night Owls being Night Owls, he turned it around and took it to a place nobody could have expected. See how many Elvis tunes you can count. It's just the way he dresses and he's got tight pants and all the rest of it. You haven't bought an Elvis record, but when you see Elvis, does that kind of do it for you? Does that get you all shook up?
Yes.
Right. Is he always on your mind?
Well, most of the day.
Right. So you got this kind of burning love for him. It's a weird thing, yeah.
Wait, I mean, I should mention it to them, or
you can't help falling in love.
You can't.
No.
Love is blind.
It is. That's true. And if he's going to be your latest flame, I just can't help believing that there's more to it than this. You know, and maybe this is something that's been happening, you know, for a while. Because I mean, if I can dream about women, why can't you dream about men just the same way? I mean, is it getting to a point where you're thinking, I've got to do something about it now? It's now or never.
It is. Like I was thinking about going through the town to get another prostitute to see if that would knock my mind off to go back to women.
Yeah. Or just hang on and
hang on, see what happens to see if I can start a relationship with a woman. I don't my mind goes.
Yeah.
I know I am into women, and then I'm not into blokes.
No, I know people have suspicious minds, but my suspicion is that you've got an infatuation with this guy. You know, with best friends, I think a lot of people have probably felt that way down. You know, and best mates because you're always hanging around with them. You think they're great. Whether that means you love them and you physically want them to have sex with is another thing altogether. But we'll ask what the Night Owls have experienced in that area. But thank you very much for coming on, God. I appreciate it.
Like I'll be listening all night now to see if there's any other ones had any experience like that, and I'll be listening.
Yeah, what a star. Now, if you're going to be a star tonight, all we want from you, and you can call us on 0191 488 3188, or you can WhatsApp us and we'll get back to you. 07863 431 837 if you'd like to do that. Now, Greatest Hits Radio, it's about music, obviously. So therefore, we're going to slam a greatest hit at you in a second. But before that, some of you give us music on Night Owls, and you're pretty special because it's never quite what you think. That's fantastic.
No, that happened there when the electric went off.
Tremendous. So we want your calls, but we're on the up here. Night Owls moving on to better days. So just give us a call and tell me some of those memories that you've had over the years, the things that you've loved, the things that have shocked you, the things that it's different every night, isn't it? And also, we also want your driving conversations, car stories. Somebody asked if I would do this because he's got a good car story. So let's have it. Accidents, romance in cars, maybe, road rage, your first car, names you've given your car, old technology, motorbikes, vans, lorries, and buses. We want you driving your mad stories. 0191 488 3188, and a ton of other things to talk about that we'll cover. But let's get a greatest hit on the board. Alan Robson with you into the last month of the Owls on Greatest Hits, and then on to new adventures. Pick up your telephone, give us a ring. 0191 488 3188, or WhatsApp us, and we'll get you on. You're with the big one, Alan Robson's Night Owls. Hi, everybody. Welcome to an amazing show. We got such an incredible thing lined up for you tonight. Thank you very much for joining us. Tonight, we're doing a grizzly trail of Newcastle upon Tyne, but the top bit, everybody does down by the quayside because there's 1,000 stories. Tonight, we're doing the top end. There's still tons of stories slightly further up the road. That's for another day. Do you know who he is? That's the old man of the Tyne, for heaven's sake. One of the best sculptures anywhere. And it really is a super treat. Now, the god of the Tyne is supposed to protect seamen. He's supposed to protect anybody who goes to sea, sails in boats from the River Tyne. He is the god. But what's so special about this site here? Well, of course, it's the Civic Centre. And across here, the site of one of the most gruesome stories ever. Because just there, you'll notice there's like a little lake area if you want to come across. A load of people come to Newcastle and they don't even know about him, and he's beautiful. And I've got something else to show you a little bit further down here. This area here, you'll notice that there's like a little lake, and it was beautifully designed. And the thought was at the time, ducks and fish and office people be able to come out. And a girl that I fancy used to work here called Helen. And I almost stalked her. It's another way of just kept an eye open for her when she worked here. But when they were digging this whole thing out, they found graves. Now, nothing spectacular about that because, let's face it, you can find graves pretty much anywhere. But Kenny, do you know what was here? What? Speak of the duck, and a duck appears.
There you go.
Hello, mate.
Cue on time.
There you go. That's perfect. So, but do you know what was here underground?
I don't. No.
Can you remember when we did an early grizzly trail? We were down beside Newcastle Cathedral.
Right.
And at the cathedral, along the side, there was a plague pit.
Yes, yeah.
There was a huge plague pit here with one of the best. This is a story that a film should have been made of. Now, at the time that the plague came through here, and it didn't kill numerically that many people, but it scared everybody witless. It's kind of like COVID in reverse. 2 or 3 people died and everybody freaked out, rather than like a large number of people lost their lives. Horrific. And they built a pit here. And the idea was, we'll burn 3 or 4 bodies because you cannot bury them. Because if you bury them, the plague stays in the soil, or so they thought. And anybody that's working on the land might release the plague, and off they go again. Everybody dies. So they were super, super crazed about it. So what they did was, if anybody got a cough, if anybody got a boil, they'd think, bubo, and they'd get a hold of them and they'd chuck them in the pit and try and set fire to them.
God.
Now, some of these people were still alive when they did it. Now, at one point, 112 bodies were brought to the plague pit. Remember, that wasn't here, and it wasn't a university, and it wasn't student buildings and all the things that have been here before. This was just a hole in the ground to the north of a dirty, dark, wooden, mainly, city. Remember, this is a time when people, for their toiletry habits, were sticking their bums out of the window and going in the street, or chucking buckets of gunge so that it'll run down. So, hey, this was the perfect place for the plague to kick in. However, they came across this one guy, and this fella was a big, strapped, heavy-set lad, big and strong, and he had lumps all over his body. What were the lumps? I have no idea. Neither did they. But the first thing they said was, plague. He's got the plague. So they smacked him, knocked him out, thought they'd killed him, stuck him on the cart with the bring out your dead, ringing the bell thing, because all that was going on at the time. And they brought his body up here, hide him in the plague pit. He was still alive. Now, by the time he woke up, because if you're unconscious, you cannot wake up, he's under bodies. And there's people outside with masks on, And you know the plague doctor's mask with the pointy beak. And they're shoveling stuff in. So what this guy did, because he was so big, he managed to pull himself to the side. Now, this is not exactly where the plague pit is. It was right the way across there, probably covering where the flower beds are behind me. But he tucked himself into the side. His idea was that when they put soil on it, he would work his way to the edge and try and get as high up as he can and create a little protective bubble with air in it. Yeah. So that when he wanted to, he could poke his arm through and get some more air. And he created the equivalent of a human bomb shelter in the edge. Now, the thing is, he couldn't show himself because if he did, people would have beat him to death and hide him straight back in. Now, he started, well, how would you survive?
Well, you're going to be a cannibal, aren't you? You had to be.
He waited till the flesh of the other body started to decay to a degree he could just peel it and put his hand inside and eat hearts and lungs and liver. And of course, the lower body cavity fills up with liquid, with everything rotting. So he drank that, and he drank blood, and he sucked on plague sores and whatever else the hell was down there. But he survived. And the will to survive is monster. You don't know how far you would go, but he survived. Now, this guy was already huge. He was already about 6'6" and very, very broad. This was not, he was never a member of Slimming World. This was a large fella. And when he was down in there, he never got any smaller. If anything, he got bigger. And they say that he was down there for the 3 years the plague passed through. 3 years living like that. And then one day, they said, there's enough bodies in there now. I think we're going to have to light it up. On hearing that, they heard a voice from inside the pit. And they started saying that somebody's still alive. Some of the kinder folk, and let's face it, there's still a few kind ones are about, said, we've got to get them out. So pushed a few bodies back. And they saw this huge white, full of blood and guts and wobbling and big. And they called him, modern day stories, people call him the Blob Man. But he was a huge creature who'd fed on who knows what and who knows who.
He looked like the Michelin Man.
But imagine if you fed on that and his eyes were, he could barely see the light because you got so used to the darkness. Excuse me. And they pulled him out and somebody hit him with a spade and he exploded. He burst because he was so full of whatever he was full of. And you would.
What are we talking about next? You make the call. 0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
And a big thank you. I've just been sent an email by an entire planet. Venus has sent in a load of stuff. And it's very, very kind indeed. And they're still going to be able to hear the podcasts and the ghost hunts and the weekly blah support, as you say. And we've listened since the beginning. Some of us were only kids growing up listening to your show. It is the end of an era. Some of your loyal supporters were in the Night Owls ghost chat tonight and got so emotional we had to leave. Well, bless you. Hey, on to better things always. Always, Venus. And thank you very much to everybody, including Sue, David, Maz, Adam, Rachel, Anna, Debs, Joe, Mark, Kelly, Steph, Natasha, Safi, Helen, Rob, Lisa, and everybody else in the ghosty chat. And also, who's this? Adam and Anna about relationship advice. And I don't know whether, is that the Adam that's coming on by any chance? We've got no idea, but we have an Adam from County Durham. Let's go there. Oh, I tell a lie. It's Rob first. Rob, it's from a group of supporters at Marsden Grotto. Hello, Rob.
Hello.
Hiya!
Hello, everybody. Hi. There you go. Had a good night tonight?
Oh, it's been Waxer Bell.
Good. Glad to hear it. No sign of ghosts there, though, because it's haunted, Marsden Grotto.
Oh, yeah, we stood right right now in like the archway.
Uh-huh.
And we're just like at this closed store that the staff has closed behind us. They said we could stand in the archway because they've all locked up. And we're just like, did you hear that knock? I was like, yeah, I heard that knock.
Wow.
We're just having a little bit of a moment.
That's good. That's brilliant. Great. Well, thank you very much. What are you talking about tonight then, Rob and team?
So we had a big meetup. Quite a few of the night owls came down tonight.
Great.
And met some of them for the first time.
Oh, fab.
So we've been here for hours now, just having a laugh, having a drink, talking about the show, memories of things. And it was nice to come to Marsden Grotto, which is a place you've been before in the past and done night owls.
Yeah. I know, happy days. Great place as well. And the funny thing was, if you remember, if you go out the back doors onto the beach, because it's like a little tiny beach, to your right-hand side, there's a Marsden Rock itself. And if you had torches, I don't know whether you did, there's like a little carved-out bit where the smugglers used to hide barrels of hooch and stuff on it. It's just a cool place, really. I love the whole thing. The only thing I don't like are all the stairs from the beach all the way up and all the way down again. You can certainly live without that in your life, for sure. Right.
Yeah, some of the memories that we were talking about. So I think Tasha said that you were the only man that could get her off to sleep at night. And I said, well, when I was little, that was the only way I could listen to the show was in bed because I wasn't allowed to stay up. So night owls for me was taking the little radio in and having the volume as low as possible, but just enough to be able to hear it.
Yeah.
Especially on Halloween for the ghost hunts because I had to be up for school in the morning.
Sure.
Trying to listen under the bed sheets and like.
That's the funny thing, because all of the people that used to listen under the bedclothes, they had bags under their eyes long before they should have had because they were up till like 2 a.m. and then had to get up at like 7 for school. Oh, not fun at all. And also, you quite often would wake up if you had the little earpieces in for your radio. You'd have the wire around your neck and you'd be choking to death. There's loads of little hazards to that. But the thing that always. Everybody used to come up, not everybody, fortunately, but a good number would come up and say what Tasha said, which is, it's the only way I can get to sleep. I was trying to keep you awake. So obviously you wasn't doing very well. Falling asleep. I mean, that's dreadful. But hey, hey-ho. Little bit of history.
You were never boring, though, Alan. You were never boring. It was always just your voice.
Oh, right. So I should have made one of those hypnotist kind of tapes. You will sleep. Then you don't need me at all on the wireless after that. No, it's funny. It's funny, though. Everybody's got their own tale. Quite a lot of people were, like their moms listened and they heard their mother laughing, so they had to have a listen, and then they were laughing. Then they told their mates, and then they listened, and they were laughing. So, hey, it's great to hear those kind of things. And thanks for everything you guys do. The supporters wouldn't be anywhere without you guys. So thank you very much. Next time you have a gathering, I'll be there for it. Don't you worry.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Alan, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm going to be starting a Hat Appreciation Society.
Oh, that's sweet. Well, thank you. Why not?
I'm wearing my Alan Robson hat right now. I went on the ghost walk with you, and I wore my hat, and you wore your big one, so we didn't match.
No, but that, you see, it's the differences that make us special. You see, that's the thing. There you go. Hey, well, thank you very much for coming on, you guys. Enjoy the rest of your night, and thanks for letting me be at least a little bit of it. Thanks again. Take care.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you guys. Bye-bye. Oh, isn't that lovely? 01914 488 3188. Now, Easter's been on and he says, Alan, that wifey who could only laugh has got to be in everybody's top 3 calls. Now, Chris hasn't found it yet, but it's about. And once he does, he'll send it through to me and we will share that call because it was silly. Anne's been on. Alan, so sad you're leaving. I'm in tears. I've listened since the very first show. You'll be a big, big miss. Love and good luck for the future. I know we haven't seen the last of you. Well, looking at me, you could do with seeing the last of me, but my voice will remain. Night Owls is not leaving the building like Elvis. We're in the Northeast, and it's always been my privilege to represent the North and give the North a little bit of a sounding bar somewhere where you can come on and let it out. And I will do my darndest to make sure that happens again. So we're working on it. 0191 488 3188. And also, Adam is with us. He's in County Durham. Let's go and talk to him. Hello, Adam.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate. I'm good. Have you got a memory for us?
I have indeed.
Good man.
Well, I can echo a lot of other callers as well, especially like what Rob was just saying before about listening under the UV and whatever at night before school.
Yeah.
I'll always remember when I was back in school in 2001. I used to listen to it all the time, and I thought I was the only person in the year group who actually listened to it. And then a friend popped up on your show and just blew me away with what he was saying. And I think over the years, grown up. I've actually kind of grown up with you.
Great.
And,
thank you.
And there's been trivial things, but there's been incredibly serious things as well. And I think you've done an absolutely amazing job. And it's a very sad deal. And I only came across it via Facebook, because I'll readily admit that due to basically life getting in the way, I haven't listened a lot recently.
Sure. I know. I get it. And the thing about Night Owls, as it was, doesn't matter if you move abroad and work there for 3 years. At least you knew you were back home as soon as you switched the wireless on and you heard Night Owls. That's what it was for decades. Yeah. And it doesn't matter. Life does get in the way for all of us. And it was always nice to have a constant, wasn't it? Like a safety net for everybody. Yeah,
absolutely. And I felt like maybe for a lot of other people as well, it was like kind of an escape for people.
Yeah, because you could get rid of whatever worried you. At least you knew we'd have a nice bit crack. And you kind of also used to, well, still do, get lost in other people's problems. Or you hear what they're talking about, and you think, oh, something like that happened to me, and then off you go. But your head's not in that serious place. And sometimes I think you need a chance to just step out of it for a while before you dive back into, because life's tough these days, tough for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got a question for you, though.
Oh, go on then.
Yeah. After, throughout all these years, maybe it's not answer now, but throughout the show, what would you say your most rewarding or most memorable show or
there was a
guest was?
Oh, that's actually not easy. Best show. You see, a lot of the specials that you can have a listen to on Robson's World, a lot of the specials that we did from all over the world, they were my chance in life, really, to see places that I would never have gone if I hadn't had the opportunity through doing what I did, if you know what I mean. So a lot of them are like heart-stopping, life fulfilling, like bucket list ticking kind of things. And yet probably the best shows aren't the big shows, the big specials. It's just when you're in the right place at the right time. The Manchester bombing night was horrible, but it was amazing because on that night, we managed to get people picked up free by taxis. We found them a place where everybody could go and stay the night free and get help and get counselling. And this was literally 5 minutes after the bomb went off. We were talking about it with people who were there. It's to say that was the best show is not true, but it's the spontaneous times that things happen are usually the best. And it doesn't matter whether I'm here or whether I'm anywhere else. If you're doing the show and something just breaks. I remember when the North flooded, and I did the show on my own. I sent the team and my producer, who was Gaynor at the time, I sent her out to buy loads of sandwiches and go to people who were trapped with a hot flask and some sandwiches. And we did that just for the whole night. And maybe the calls weren't the greatest calls ever in the history of the world, but they were from people ringing up saying, Alan, I've just had a steak sandwich. Thank you so much. Do you know? And I've just had a flask. I hadn't eaten since 12 o'clock. I've been stuck in my car since. So those kind of things are super cool because television can't do that. Radio can, if it's given a chance to be spontaneous and and local. You know, that's the key to what I've always loved about it. And I know the world of radio's changed, and it was always going to, and there was always going to be a time when I had to step down from the box, and we're there. But let's face it, it's not like I haven't had a canny run, if you know what I mean. They've tried to push me out with sticks previously, but I've held on.
Well, I think I talk on behalf of everybody that I don't think there'll be anybody else like you again.
There's an awful lot of people and ex-wives who would say thank heavens for that. But hey ho, lovely talking to you, Adam. Thank you so much for your kindness. Appreciate it.
Likewise, and it's been a privilege.
Bless you, man. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Just really nice. Thank you. But we accentuate the positive, get shot of the negative, because negative doesn't have a home on Night Owls, and it never has. 0191 488 3188. It's a night of memories. Andy in Heaven's got one. Hi, Andy.
Hi, Alan. All right?
Yes, I'm good, mate. Thank you. So what's your memory then?
Many. I mean, I'm turning 50 this month. I've been listening since I was 14.
Cheapers. Right, it's a sentence.
A long time, but definitely. I used to love the summer quizzes on a bank holiday weekend.
Yeah, brilliant. Great fun.
I once come on, I asked one question, I got shut down straight away.
This is the thing. Loads of people would pull me up after the bank holiday in the street, and they'd say, I sat there and I answered like 40 questions in a row. Yeah. Then I rang the show and I got my first question wrong, and that was it. I was gone. And because it does sound easy though, doesn't it? When you're sitting at home, going, I knew that. It's a different thing when you're on the spot, though. I think that's the
100%. 100%.
That's the key.
But there's some really good memories over the years, and like when you do the ghost hunts or the Halloween specials and stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, we're doing the weekly ghost hunts now on Facebook and YouTube, so.
Yeah, I'm going to have a look at that.
Still a chance. It'd be good if you did. That's cool. Anything else, then, Andy?
No, that's all. I just wanted to say thank you for the job you've done over the years.
That's good of you.
Sad to see you gone, but brilliant.
Well, we'll keep on keeping on. Thanks, Andy. All the best to you, mate.
No problem.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. This is the funny thing, because somebody was saying to me earlier this week, oh, isn't it terrible? Isn't it? Oh, whoa. I always remember Senna the Soothsayer from the old Frankie Howard Up Pompeii show, for the 7 or 8 of you that's old enough to remember that. She used to always come on every show moaning about stuff, go, whoa, and thrice, whoa. There's none of that. Look at what's happening in the world. All that's happening here is I'm moving on to hopefully do something else. If anybody else has something for me to do. And if they don't, then I'll do stuff myself. That's how it is. And in light of what's happening in other parts of the world, I'm one of the luckiest people on the planet. 0191 488 3188. Let us head in the direction of a stranger in the darkness, of Pretty Anonymous. Hello.
Well, hello, my friend.
Hello, mate. What can we do for you?
Well, let me take you back to the days where you gave me the greatest laugh of my life, when you got me chased at by baboons.
Oh, tell me more.
Well, you set me up, you set the baboons loose, and I jumped over the fence about 7 foot.
I know exactly who you are, and you are one. Do you mind if I tell everybody? Because you are my hero.
No, I don't mind.
I
did it on purpose.
This is Wayne, of course, who was a legend on Metro Radio and TFM, and is still, in my opinion, one of the greatest presenters ever. Hiya, Wayne. Lovely to talk to you, man.
Hello, mate. I just had to ring you because I love you. And you know what I want to say is, I think everyone listening now will know somebody they should have picked up the phone to, that they're not spoken to in a long time, or life changes, and you think, I'll call that person. And sometimes it's always too late. Well, it's not too late to ring you, and I thought I'd ring you and wish you the best of luck. And as somebody who's used to getting off that box and getting new beginnings.
Yeah, but it was a box you should still be well and truly rattling around, man, honestly.
I had the chance again, but I declined it. And I think, we live in a world where, I remember Dale Winton said you had to become a radio star to get into TV, and now you just have to be a TV star to get into radio. So it's gone full circle. But hey, listen, just 1 second before we reminisce, I want to put you on to, a lot of people won't realise this, he's super, super close. And when my Ginger Josh, as you called him, was born, you were the first person in to say hello to him. And 17 years later.
Oh, my goodness, really?
Hello.
Hello, Josh. Hey.
Nice to hear you, man. You all right?
I tell you, fantastic. Great.
Awesome,
I
man.
remember when the day you were born, I had to go and do a gig because your dad obviously had to be by your mom's side.
Yeah.
So, and it was one of those gigs that I tell you, you would. It was not exactly my finest hour. It was like, get through it as best you can. Because we were worried, and then we came up to see you the following day. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Hey, how you been, and what you doing with your life?
I'm doing the A-levels now.
Brilliant. What you aiming for?
I'm going to go to university and get
to be a what?
Maybe. Accountant, maybe.
Oh, hell's bells.
Like
really? Your dad's...
I'm learning to drive as well.
Oh, hey, well, good luck with that. But your dad's not that bright. Where did the accountancy come from?
Mum.
From your mum. Yeah, I could understand.
Mum died. Yeah.
I could believe that. Accountant.
Yeah, trust me, I didn't get it from my dad.
That's fantastic. Anyway, great talking to you, man. Thanks for coming on.
Nice to see you, Alan.
And you, Josh. Take it easy.
I thought you might like that, mate. But you know what? I've just made a couple of notes because I know it was your last show, and I think it's not the end; it's the beginning. Because I've spoken to many people in my time, Alan, where things have changed, and I always say to them, "You'll look back on this day and go, if it didn't happen, the other great stuff wouldn't happen."
For sure.
Besides baboons, I'm going to say the funniest thing ever in my life for you to the last. However, I remember loving you so much, and you weren't very well, and we couldn't have contact. I drove to your house and I bought you jambalaya from TGI's. I put it in my coat in the motorbike, and it dripped down my trousers.
Well, in fairness, there was an awful lot fell down your trousers over the years, but we'll leave that alone.
I know. And still, people in my new role, when I go to colleges and stuff, they go, "Recognise your voice. Weren't you the guy that Alan Robson tortured?" And I went, "Oh yeah." But I want you to remember, if you can remember one thing ever from your radio career with me, and I want to leave you with this one before I go and watch you live, because I love you, man. I remember doing the Ghost Walks with you, and anyone who's done it with you, it's a prized possession to get to go around Germany. And there was this time where we were in a top hotel, and I thought we'd be recording till 4 a.m. And you said, "We finished, it's 9:30. And I'm like, "What? I could go and party in Germany." I was out till 5 a.m. But the best bit ever for me, the biggest scare I've ever had, forget Chillingham, it was non-ghost related, and you will remember this. And I challenge you not to laugh, Alan. We were doing the ghost walk late at night, and you went round this corner. There was ghosts and ghouls, and we didn't realise there was this homeless guy, and he sat up and went, "Huh?" And both of us almost died on the spot.
You just pinched somebody's bike from outside like Hofbrauhaus or something in Germany, and we went round the corner, and I was right. You know, if you're telling stories, you get right in the moment. We're going, and it was just around this corner. And as soon as we got around the corner, this 6'5" bearded guy just dove out of a doorway and went, "Whoa!" And by the time,
can you remember you told me that because I not long had Josh. You said, "Oh yeah, don't worry, everyone knows at home that you're going to Germany." And it wasn't until I landed in Germany you said, "Nobody knows."
It was funny because you said, "We're going to quickly." I said, "You're coming with me for a quick interview," and I had your passport, and we ended up getting on a plane to interview Natalie and Brulia in Hanover, and we ended up in a midnight walk around the zoo. Do you remember the fly enclosure?
Oh God, that was horrendous. Yeah, that was really. And you know your legacy is still to this day. I still can't sell the house. Do you remember when you put prawns in my old house?
Yes.
You put prawns around the radiators and like posh pebbles in the toilet, and everyone that came to rent the house went, "Is this the house that Alan Robson trashed?" It's still not sold. It's on Western Avenue, Alan. I've still got the same tenant in it.
Fantastic. Hey, Wayne, it's a joy.
Alan, hey, listen.
Send you a lot of love.
At some point between now, I'm going to listen to the whole lot just to be there for you, man.
I know.
But if you can play that Angela looking at the moon clip, that was just hilarious.
Yeah. Have we could dig that out. We must have it.
All right. Listen, you know what? I think a lesson for everyone listening who, you know what, is don't leave it too long to pick up the phone, no matter what the circumstances.
No.
And I wanted to do that. And I love you, Alan, and you
Love
were
you too, man.
instrumental in my little career that I had. And I really do miss you so much. And you are as much the hero on the air, off air, that people don't get to see. So I love you, man.
Thanks, Wayne. Take it easy.
Take care.
Love to the
Bye,
family.
man. Love you.
Bye-bye. Oh,
Bye-bye.
my goodness. That's just, have we got that clip by any chance? Oh, he's digging it out. So we will have that. Say again, play it later. Oh, I just see. I'm being pointed to another call because Debbie is with us and she is in Winlayton. Hello, Debbie.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, love. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. His husband, he's not very well.
Oh, blame me. It was always you that was the poorly sick one. I mean, what's happened to him?
He's got something wrong with his lung.
Oh, blame me. Are you getting it looked into, though?
Yeah.
Right,
yeah.
thank heavens for that.
I just want to say from the bottom of my heart, I've listened since James Wales was on the radio.
Long time ago.
But from the bottom of my heart is all the people you saved when they rang you up that they needed help. You did absolutely wonders, Alan, for those people. And I love you loads.
Thank you.
And can you remember at Christmas time when I tried to buy all my toys back that my husband bought?
I remember well. Got so many memories with you over the years. My goodness. Yeah.
And it was you're just so wonderful. I think if you haven't got a place, I've got an outhouse. I could stick you in the tooth every Sunday night.
Just hold that thought because you never know. But thank you very much. It's sweet of you. Thank you, Debbie. Great to hear from you again as well. Give your lad my love if you will, and get him well.
I will. I'm trying. Me speech is getting bad again. But I had it for nearly a year.
Yeah. I mean, you got to remember, if we go back 5 or 6 years, you were saying to us, "Well, I'm not going to be able to call," and we said, "Well, don't you worry. If we have to ring you back and sort it all out, and get somebody to say what you want to say on your behalf, we'll make it happen."
Put it in the machine.
You did.
And when I tried to speak to you, I deleted it.
Yeah, it was like I can't get the machine to work. Well, I can hear you. I can hear you, man. Yeah, it was funny. It was funny. But look at how long your voice has lasted. That's brilliant. You've been great.
It's because it sounds weird, but I haven't been shouting.
Well, you see, your husband's benefited from all of this, hasn't he? Then he hasn't got shouted at for years.
He's got a woman that every man wants. Keep quiet.
Can't argue with that. Hey, that's fab.
Oh, I love you loads, Alan.
Love you too, Debbie. Thank you.
And even Chris in the other one.
And the other one.
Tony.
Tony's looking up saying, yeah, that's how he's remembered. He's the other one. Bless him. Thanks very much for coming on, Debbie. Love to you both. Thanks, love. Take care. Bye-bye. And we will have that amazing, and it was one of the funniest calls of all time. Because for those of you that don't know, Wayne was the show before mine for years, and we used to always do like cross-pollination. And he stole my car and drove it all over the place while I was on holiday and pretty much wrecked it. So I went to his house and wrecked that, putting soap powder down his toilet so when he flushed it, it went all the way down the stairs. Mark, always be a night owls, onwards and upwards, going to miss the calls, and he's put his tattoo on with an owl and night owls on it. Yeah, that's the actual dog's dangle, isn't it? Thank you very much, Mark. Superb. 0191 488 3188. Hey, we're doing a greatest hits thing in Northeast. You got to get the most important part in. And we might as well have a star come out at night, because the stars do for us. And we've had every star known to man on the show, but we've got a track from Tears for Fears. So I thought I would ask them about their beginnings. Where were you born? Where were you raised, the pair of you?
I was born in Bath and raised in Bath.
That's got to be posh.
Oh yeah,
that'd be a
especially
posh
where he
one.
lived.
Yes, Snow Hill,
Really?
Snow
Oh,
Hill
no,
Council
no, it's
Estate.
terrible.
Snow Hill Council Estate, which is not really the
You
posh
want
part
your,
of Bath.
you want your feet on the way out.
Yeah.
That old cliche.
What about
yeah.
you?
I was born in Portsmouth,
Right.
in a huge council estate called Lee Park.
Right.
And then my parents split up when I was about 7, I think, and
Oh,
I ended up
blimey.
in Bath.
Right.
In sort of rented accommodation.
Yeah. Tough upbringing. Sounds like it.
Well, both
Yeah.
of us were brought up really by, the similarities are quite amusing, but both of us brought up primarily by our mothers, and we're both
Right.
the middle boys of 3 boys.
Which could make an outsider looking in say that obviously the pair of you both need a slap then because you were spoiled rotten by the lady of the house.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We wish,
there's-
you know.
yeah, not spoilt really. No,
We had-
I
I
know,
don't-
working mum.
We both had working mothers, and if you can imagine
spoiled with rissoles and chips. A beef burger and chips and fish fingers and chips, and
I tell you, you've got to have some incentive to get
that
into
was
this business,
luxury.
and that's great incentive as well.
That was luxury. We
Oh,
used
it
to
was.
live in all in the middle. Anyway.
And they beat him to death, and they threw him back in, covered him with pitch, and set fire to the whole place. And that happened right here. So I know everybody's leaving, the late night workers are just coming out, and the night's ready to fire, but this place should be haunted as hell. And the god of the time, beautiful, but I've heard 2 stories. One is that they made a statue for here. Come with us, I'll show you it. It's just around the corner, apparently.
Have a wow moment when you sell your car with Car Wow. Car Wow.
And I've heard various stories. One that says that it symbolizes the souls of the dead flying free after being set free from the plague, really. You can hear a Benwell fire engine.
Yeah. God, how many years ago when we did that gig here?
Yeah, no, that was the thing. Kenny and I did a massive gig here for Newcastle United. We brought them up on a big bus.
Yeah, FA Cup final.
FA Cup final, there was 40,000 people.
Just here?
There was only one bad thing, which was we didn't win the damn thing. But,
No.
But I bet we celebrated as good as the winners did.
Right, 1999.
I remember because it was me and Ned Kelly.
That's right. Yeah.
Ned Kelly and Papa Vassalou.
Yeah.
There was a few of them. Oh, hang on. Is it down here? Are you sure it's not around the corner? Okay. Take your word for it. I haven't seen this for years, but if it is what I think it is, absolutely gorgeous. Oh, there it is. How is that not one of the most beautiful things you've ever seen?
God.
Should have water in it.
Do you know, I've never seen that before. You
Because-
did them gigs here, I've never seen that.
Swans. Now, I don't know whether this was true, but the story is that these are swans swooping up from a lake, or cobbles as it is at the minute, and it was supposed to symbolize the souls of the dead that were lost here. And the weird thing is, they say that because this is here, loads of birds, and you can hear.
Yeah, you can hear them.
There's loads of birds, and this is a totally built-up area, but there's a lot of birds here because they're flying with the souls of the dead. Is that not a beautiful sculpture?
Brilliant, actually.
It's amazing.
Quite clever, isn't it? The way it's done.
It's brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. I've only ever seen that from inside. Never been around here. But that's, hey, if we're doing Grizzly, that's on the back of the Blob Man. So, fabulous. Let's walk back round to mainstream Newcastle, because there's a few things to tell you about.
Cool.
There's also a couple of amazing statues. Wherever you go, some symbols remain. Do you know there's even pictures of those kind of things in caves? Do you know? We haven't changed much over the years, that's
We
for
haven't.
sure.
Children.
Absolutely. We haven't changed. Now,
hey, look who opened it though. Robson.
Of course.
On lid.
Gladys.
Yeah.
Our Gladdy did
1960.
it in 1960.
Go on.
No relative of mine. Gladys Robson. There you go. The centre that is very civil.
1960.
The Civic Centre. Over here we got St Thomas's Church, which is a fabulous little. Well, it's part of the Newcastle heritage. But before we go there, can I just, you see this bit here? What's that famous for, Kenny?
This bit
that
here?
Bit. Going all the way down to where the ABC Haymarket Cinema
Right.
used to be, which is over there. What incredibly famous thing happened there?
Just here?
Yeah, just there.
Do you know,
In fact, let's walk on it.
I have no idea. How long ago?
1904.
1904?
Yeah.
Right, before the First World War?
Yeah.
What could have happened before the First World War?
1904. I wonder how many of you at home know this.
Pilgrims? Anything to do with pilgrims? No?
Oh.
No.
Well, only if John Wayne said the word pilgrim.
John Wayne?
Because, you know, John Wayne used to say, all right, pilgrim.
I always thought you went, I'm going west, I hope.
I'm going west, I
I'm
hope.
going to west, I hope.
The night's getting longer as we speak. This, picture the scene, absolutely true. Covered wagon being chased by Native Americans, but Red Indians,
No.
essentially. Right here.
Seriously?
Buffalo Bill on his horse.
No!
Sitting Bull and a tribe full of Native Americans battling each other. Sharpshooters.
Here.
The woman who took over from Annie Oakley.
No.
Here, shooting cans up in the air and
happened here.
There.
Oh,
Buffalo
my
Bill's
God.
Wild West show. He did a big gig here. He then went to North Shields, South Shields, and then finally Sunderland before he moved on. But he was here. And the other thing is, everybody thinks because they call it a Wild West show,
yeah,
that it was just Wild Westy things. He discovered samurai warriors and ninjas, and he'd brought a batch of them over to fight and do sword demonstrations.
Oh my
so what an
God.
amazing show that would have been. This is a statue that kicked up an awful lot of fuss. It's called the Response. Have a look around the front. It's about the First World War.
I'm amazed by that story.
Buffalo Bill.
I can't believe it.
Light that up. Don't know whether you need it lit up, Tony, dear. The Angel of Peace. It's called the Response. Do you see the man saying goodbye to his children?
Yeah.
Amazing. 1914. The response, of course, being what did the British do when they heard that Europe was a threat? They responded, they gathered, they followed the angel of destiny, the angel of peace, to help save Europe. And they left little lads behind. And it was a bloody slaughter, the whole thing. But this is one of the best war memorials in Britain. It's amazing. It's called the Response. If you haven't had a close look at it, you should. Absolutely fab. A few other things down here because we've got a fair walk to do. So let's get cracking with it. Yeah, good idea. If you're liking what you're seeing and you want to hear all of these stories, they're amazing. If you live anywhere in the north, you want to know these tales, all you got to do is share, and you can win yourself one of our glorious night owl badges. So make sure you do that. However, this is St Thomas's Church, and there's a few things here to tell you about. There's one story of a man who was carving that bit at the very top, who was said to have. This is.
You never know who's going to call next.
Now, a little bit earlier on, we had the legend who is Wayne call this show, and he said it's your last show. It's not my last show. We're on till the end of April. 3 more shows after this, so feel free to just dive in and talk about whatever else you want to talk about, because that's what Night Owls has always been, and we'll get you on. Simple. So give us a ring. 01914 883188. Rachel has sent this in. So sorry to be selfish. What am I going to do without you? And I was hoping to be lucky enough to go on a ghost hunt with you. Well, that's still possible. We're still doing them. And can't even tell Sam. Sam will know. Charlie is 19 months and doing well, really taken back by the news. Hey, be strong. We will get through it together. Trust me. Ben, my bone, haven't done that in the longest time, says, hi, mate, thank you for all the laughs. I still listen. Never forget the Gene calls. Gene, I would love to hear the what's your nickname, Gene. Love you, man. All the best. Cheers, Ben. Thank you for that. Also, Easter. 1 foot in the bath. I had to go and get me phone out the kitchen to send Debbie and a Mister all my love. And again, some of Debbie calls are mint to hear. Not a question about that either. Christopher, I'm good at the show's ending on radio at least. You've been a part of my life for so many years, from the hiding under the duvet with the headphones on to the many calls in the last few years. My night shifts will be lacking something going forward. I really will miss you, mate. Cheers, Chris the Truck. Thanks, Chris. Still got time for a chat before the grand finale. The Wayne thing is in the top 3. Now, the Wayne call with the one that he's talking about, which is just one of the great night owl calls of all time, is not on our mechanical system because we've changed buildings, changed computers and many things. We will have it for next week's show, all being well. Is that right, Chris? I think he's not in there. He knows where it is, and we will dig it out. But it's one of those laugh out loud kind of things. And there's been plenty of them. Now, we're still having our competition, which is Who's Hits. And if you write that down, it looks like Who does something else. But Who's Hits, I'm going to give you 4 clues. Each clue is a song title. And then at the end of all that, you've got to tell me whose hits the 4 songs are. Don't ring up beforehand, even if you're a clever dick and you know them. Right, clue number 1. And again, always northern, for we are northern and proud. The first clue, a Sunderland supporter's nickname. Okay, what song title is a Sunderland supporter's nickname? That's your first clue, your first song title. So write it down. I'll write down the question. It might make sense when you've heard some of the other answers. You might work out who it is. Then you can Google their hits and find out the one that we mean. A Sunderland supporter's nickname. Okay? Right, 3 more clues to come. And let's get as many of you on air as we possibly can. Les is there. He's in Chesterland Street. Hello, Les.
Hello, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm all right, man. Thank you for calling.
Just want to say thanks for the memories over the years, mate. You've been a star.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
I followed you right from Hot Heavy Express right through the current day.
Oh, happy days. Happy days.
Yeah, some good nights there, mate.
And some downright. There was one joke we cracked in the Hot and Heavy that involved Vaseline and the Chief Constable. That got,
yes, I remember that.
Got me in an awful lot of trouble and having to explain myself.
Hot water, didn't it?
I did, and I had to end up explaining myself to the Chief Constable, which wasn't ideal. But we just kind of pushed the envelope a tad in 1,000 ways. And the great thing was, after midnight, we basically talked about all the things you're not really allowed to talk about because we knew it's rock music. None of the bosses are going to be listening to this. So we did what we could. It was funny. Funny days.
I think one of the memories I think of all the time, and I always laugh every time it comes into my mind, you were comparing one of the concerts at Gateshead Stadium.
Uh-huh.
And I was working security with the lads for the stage. It was the Rocksteady crew. You got the actual MC to play Hey You, the Rocksteady crew.
I did, that's right.
Trying to get the lads dancing.
Yeah, funny days. Very good. Yeah, you must have seen a few stars in your time doing that kind of stuff, though, Les.
Yeah, quite a few. Simple Minds, U2.
Oh, wow. Good stuff.
One of the first times I saw U2 was at Mayfair 79.
Oh, blimey, yeah. Wonderful. Before they'd really done much, it was early days for
They'd literally just released the first album, Boy.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be right. My goodness. They're from the beginning, you see. Saying a good taste, Les. Saying a good taste, man.
Yeah, but I've won a few competitions over the years as well. I think the last thing I won a couple of years ago was tickets for Cubics in Herrington Country Park.
Tremendous. That's not bad. Great. Hey, happy days, Les. Anything else while you're on?
No, just good luck for the future, mate, whatever you're doing.
That's
great. Like I said in my message when I messaged you, Geordie legend, never forgot your roots.
Good man. Thanks again, Les. Appreciate it. Cheers, man. Bye-bye.
Best of luck for the future, Alan. Cheers, man.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye. Well, Northern is where it's at. Northern's where it is for the last ghost hunt. I had a lot of people talking about it because it wasn't actually a ghost hunt last week. We decided to do a grizzly trail of Newcastle, but the top part of it, because everybody does the quayside and around the bottom end of Newcastle, the bridges and that. And we've done one of them. So we did the top end, and it seems you absolutely loved it. So thank you very much. We've got a lot more coming your way. And, of course, if you become a supporter, you get all of the old shows as well. So, yeah, you'll be geared up. DJ Banger. Oh, hang on. End of the month. Sorry to hear about the show. Been listening since James Whale, on and off. You're the best ever presenter of the show. I'm a supporter. Watch the ghost hunts. We'll follow to the end. Onward and upward. Forward to the podcast. All the best, Timbo. Thanks, Tim. Great to have you with us. Fellow DJ. Always good. And next, we have Steve, who's in South Shields. We got to do a ghost hunt in Shields. Hello, Steve.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, mate.
Well, if you're going to do a ghost hunt in Shields, I've got to be there.
Well, as soon as you hear us, just come and find us. We'll be easily found, and have no doubt about it.
I feel like a phone call. I was lying on the sofa watching the telly. Because I always get upstairs for around 10 past 10 to put the show on.
Bless you. That's the way.
And Claire was up and says, Dad, the show's finished. It's finished. It's off tonight. I says, what? So I've got ducks living in the back garden, right? And they were still running around in the back garden. So I runs outside. Come on, get in. Chucking a doom of rain.
Oh,
right. My bedding was hanging on the line.
Oh, right.
I thought I'd find other bedding. And, well, what do you say about such a gent? It cracks us up. It's cracking us up.
I don't, man. Hey, worse things happen at sea, and we'll be back in some form. And if we can find any possible way of doing Night Owls again in any form, we'll make it happen, and we'll grow it again. And there's an awful lot of people out there that are loyal, steadfast, and true. We'll find a way to make it all happen.
Well, the other lad that was just on sort of pinched a little bit of it, because I've listened to you since the Hot and Heavy Hour Express.
Great.
And you were the one that got us listening to White Snake, believe it or not.
Oh, good choice then.
First time I ever heard White Snake, it was on Metro.
Right, yeah.
And obviously I've been a lifelong supporter as well as you have, like.
Yeah, sure.
But Claire and Tom's devastated now because they're avid listeners. I mean, Tom's Nana used to ring up years ago. He's Nana Hilda.
Right, yeah.
And then Tom started ringing, and then he won, what was it? The Colin Academy tickets for Saxon.
Oh, there you go. Uh-huh.
That was absolutely a great night.
Brilliant.
Absolute great.
Well, in their words, never surrender when your back's against the wall. Crack on.
Aye. Well, I'll be listening to the end anyway, but I just wanted to wish you all the best for the future, mate.
Nice one.
You've been an absolute star to me as well as everybody else. I mean, when I lost my wife, you helped us through that. And you've just been like a friend to tap you on the shoulder and say, listen, I'm listening.
Yeah. I was glad that I'm useful for something, man. Thank you, Steve.
Well, anyway, like I say, I suppose there'll be loads of people wanting to get on, but I'll be listening to the end. I'll probably ring you before you, maybe your last show or something like that.
Yeah, it would be great if you did. Thanks again, Steve.
Okay, Alan.
Love to everybody else as well. I thank them so much. Thanks again. Cheers, man.
Ta-ra.
Bye-bye. 01914 883 188. Lots of other things to talk about too, if you want to. But we want your night owl memories, the thing that made you laugh, made you giggle, made you cry, because many have done that. One of my most memorable. Somebody asked for. Do you remember the girl that you sent to Disneyland? Yes, I do, and we'll dig out that clip at some point over the next few weeks, because that just always makes me bubble as well. Right, first clue is down. A Sunderland supporter's nickname. That's your first clue. What song is that about? Prince Andrew, now dodgy dealing. Boris joking about COVID parties at a rich party in Claridge's. And have you heard that all that's going to happen to these characters, you know, when they wouldn't allow us to go to our own family's funerals, is a £50 fine. Ukraine deny bombing a Russian oil plant. We think Russia maybe did that to their own oil plant, so to give their own people a reason why they're in Ukraine. Ukraine's army have retaken 30 towns, which is amazing. And 164 violent criminals, including 12 terrorists who have murdered, have been released on their own recognizance, which is, so there's plenty of other things to talk about. I got a sneaky suspicion we're going to have a few more night owl memories, so let's have that. Oh, how a whole batch has come up. Oh, blimey, hundreds, in fact. Stephanie Mulholland, best of luck, Alan. It was a pleasure for me and my daughter to meet you and be radioed and be interviewed on the radio. She still talks about it. I remember that well. Aunt Steele, my mum used to listen to you when I was very young. I'm 31 now. She's no longer with us, but I remember listening to you on her radio alarm clock with her and falling asleep. Good memories. Stephen Bowmaker, end of an era. Good. Paul Stevenson, sorry to hear that. I've been listening, but only since 1985, so he started a bit late. Al Shakespeare. Thank you, Alan, for everything you've done for everybody. All the best for the future. Thank you. Darren Dalgleish. Is this a late April Fool's joke? At least I'm hoping it is. And all the best, Northern Legend. Thank you. Whew. Good stuff. Tell me your memory. Make me smile about great stuff that we've done. Because let's face it, I'm just the thing that you bounce off. It's your show. We got Lisa, who's in South Shields. Hello, Lisa.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, love.
I'm absolutely gutted to hear that you're leaving.
Well, it had to happen sooner or later. Come on, Lisa.
No, we had to keep you. We have to keep you. Do you know why? The most wonderfulest woman that you ever spoke to passed away on the 8th of March. Fortunately, it was my mum. And she was a great fan of yours. You've heard her loads of times. Hard. It's very hard, Alan. It only happened 3 weeks ago, and she didn't have much chance. You know, she went into hospital and she had the cancer. She come home 5 days and she was gone.
Oh, bless. I'm so sorry to hear that. That's awful.
I'm devastated, Alan. I just don't know where I am with it. But, you know, on the bright side, she was my queen. Mm-hmm. And we did our best to do the best in 5 days we could.
Did she have a decent run? How old was she, love?
Mum was only 72 when she passed.
That's not any kind of age really these days.
She had the cancer 4 years ago.
Right.
And she took bad, and we got the doctor in, and she had fell on her hip. And I thought it was because she fell out of my bed Christmas. And when she got in, she had sepsis. She had food poisoning. She had bone cancer. She had lung cancer. And she had stomach cancer.
Oh, blame me.
And the doctor looked at me and I screamed. And I went, right, I want her home. I said, you fast track her home now.
Yeah.
She come home on the Saturday and she died on the Tuesday at 11:20 with me.
Right.
And her grandson with her, Peter Shillen, who is now upset, really upset.
I bet.
And Carol and Kaylee. But, you know, I can't forget our smiles and our hugs and I miss our phone calls every day. And it goes by that fast.
Yeah, but frankly, Lisa, you wouldn't want her in the kind of pain she must have been under.
No, Alan, it was hard at the end. It really was. I mean, I had the Macmillan in, they were brilliant. I had the carers in, obviously, because there had to be two of us there. And there had to be carers popping in and out, obviously.
Right.
And I couldn't sort of drive her out because I'm not a nurse. They were fantastic. They really were. Macmillan came out on the Tuesday, and I said, she said, have you got any questions? And I went, yeah, I'm a bit concerned about when she does pass, because the gurgles sometimes, and it gives you a fright. She said she might not do it. She said she might not do it. She might not. She didn't. She screamed from me nana. And then she looked at the photo, and Kelly says, I'm going home now. Are you coming? And she passed.
Right.
And it was final. But I knew what I had to do. The undertakers came to her, and I got her ready in the chopper myself.
Oh, that's blimey. How did you have the courage to do that? That's a big ask.
Do you know why? It was my mum, and if I could do the last thing for her, that's what I wanted to do.
Oh, that's beautiful. Beautiful.
Chris was, mind you, Chris Tyndale, not Tyndale, your choice was absolutely fab. He told us what to do. I got her ready, and then obviously he had put on a casket, and I had every day with her. I never missed a day. And obviously with her being bad, things were like getting really bad on the Tuesday, the Wednesday before her funeral. And I said, Chris, it's time. It was me and my friend. I said, we need to put the top on now. And he gave us the screws to screw them in. I did it myself.
Right.
I did it myself. And the next day was a funeral at 9 o'clock in the morning. And she had a beautiful send off, she did.
Good.
I mean,
She deserved
you
one.
know, she did. She was brave, very, very brave. And I tell you what, Alan, believe it or not, she come out with some comical things. She said to me, I said, Mum, can I put a light on for my bed? Because I can't bed. She said, you should eat your carrots. And I was making a cup of tea. And she went, she's put the kettle on. I went, But yeah, she did come out with some. I mean, she was chucking, you know, the lollipops.
Yeah.
She was hiding them at us in the end, right? And she was like, I don't want them. She don't want nothing like that. I mean, she couldn't eat.
But, you know, the thing with all of this is, and everything that you've said makes me know, not just think, but it makes me know that it was the right time for her to go. And
it was the right time.
It was the right time. And that's as much as you can hope for, because you don't want her living another 10 years in that kind of pain, do you? Hell's bells.
God, Alan, it was bad. I mean, I had the doctor out a week before, and I said, look, you're going to have to do some temperature x-rays. Nothing. He stood there, didn't even take a temperature, didn't check a temperature or nothing. He went tired of her. When I spoke to the doctor afterwards in the hospital, he went, it was a massive tumour on the top of her leg. She could have broke her leg. She was getting out of bed. She was hobbling around out of bed, and the night she took bad, when they phoned me and said, look, the bloods are wrong.
Right.
Thursday, you need to go up, you need to tell her we need her. And I said, well, what are you trying to say? She said, well, I'm telling you, I think it's leukemia. And I begged my mum that night. She was ill, spewing everywhere, coughing. And I mean, she couldn't even get the toilet in the end. So I took her in, and I actually lost my temper with the nurse. She wouldn't let us go in with her. I said, you covered Rosa over. And she looked at me, and I was in that much despair, Alan. I just got my head. She went, you're very disrespectful. I went, come down here, love. I went, I'll tell you what disrespectful is. I went, me going round there looking at my mum through a window. That's what disrespectful is. When she went on Ward 6, I couldn't do enough for her. Alan, it was brilliant. First time I seen her was when she was going up to Ward 6. And then from then I slept there every night.
Until you could bring her,
until
you could bring her back.
Until we got her home, She went in the sitting room. Because it wasn't big enough in the bedroom, Alan.
Did you stick a little single bed in, or did you just have her on the couch?
No, what we did is we had her on a hospital bed.
Right, yeah.
So we had a proper hospital bed.
Correct.
They came, they put it up, I had her oxygen. And on the Tuesday morning, I had said she was bleeding a bit. I said, right, Mum, you've had enough. I'm taking the machine off. It was just like a carbonator.
Right.
Took it off, and then I could hear her breathing, and it was one of my mates that said, I can't get into bed with her. And that was it, she was gone.
I'm so
But
sad.
Chris, I can't thank Chris enough for what he's done. He bought a home. She's now home with me. I've actually had a tattoo with that in.
Right.
So
It's not like you're going to
what a
need
brave
one to
woman.
remember her, though, is it? Let's face it.
I don't think so. I think now I'm clearing the house out, Alan. It's hard
Sure.
to go through everything that she had. And I mean, my mum was a person who loved her stuff.
Right.
So the only thing I'm struggling with is the fact that I need somebody to take the clothes, like brand new clothes, and I'm getting nowhere with it.
Yeah, what, can you not just drop them off at a local charity shop and then they'll wash them and put them out and flog them?
I thought I could ring them and they could just pick them up. I mean, they pick the machine up and a bed up, do you know what I mean? There's only me.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm getting rid of the rubbish, but I couldn't take the amount of bags down that there, Alan.
So if there's anybody that's got a van that can take them up to a charity shop, would you be up for that if anybody rings in?
Yeah.
So
yeah,
please,
definitely.
Chris is nodding next door. He knows all about it. If you've got a van and you live anywhere in or around South Shields and you're willing to just take a load of clothes up to the local charity shop, it's an easy peasy. You park outside, you dunk them in, job done. 0191 488 3188. If anybody's up to doing that, if you got, or a big car maybe, if you got one, you fill the boot in the back seat. There's a batch of clothes and we just love them to be used by somebody who needs them, basically. So
Yes, it's brand new. I would like to thank everybody that's been there. Alan, I mean, my partner, my son, his wife, his ex-wife, and his daughter.
Right.
I don't think I would have known what to do with myself.
No. Hey, but you're saying you don't know what to do. You've done everything right. You've done everything right there.
Yeah.
And now I think just you gave her a great send off. You love her, of course you love her. You're going through. It's not like you can put her memory in place where you just, because she's always going to be in your heart. That's a given. Yeah. But you've just got to get through the clarty bit now, and that's sorting that stuff and making a bit of space for yourself. That's basically.
And I'm hoping that by Friday I can hand the keys in because.
Yeah.
But I live there and he's making it hard. They didn't speak, and he's just sending horrible letters that I don't really need at the minute. So I'm not going there tomorrow. No. I'm actually leaving out to somebody else, but I'll get over that bit as well as I will everything else.
Hey, there's always something, Lisa. You know that.
Isn't it?
There's always something.
It is.
That's a fact. Hey, well, love to you and good luck. Yeah. And if we get anybody that's got a van and lives in South Shields or around, we'll give you a call straight back, okay?
And will you shout out for me, Mum, Madge Shillen was the bravest person I ever knew.
That certainly sounds it. You're not far behind, Elisa. Thank you very much for calling.
Thank you, Alan.
Take care, love. Bye-bye. When you're talking about, end of the shows and this kind of stuff, fades into insignificance in the grand scheme, 0191 488 3188. Time for a little piece of music. The stars come out at night, and maybe what we need now is just a little time. So we thought we'd talk to the beautiful South. Paul Heaton is the man. I asked him about all of his beginny things. Where we brought up?
Bit of a mixture. It's a bit boring to tell you the full details, but I was born in Liverpool.
Right.
Brought up in Sheffield, moved down to Surrey, and then moved to Hull when I was 21.
Right, okay. So where do you consider home now? Out of
Hull
that lot?
now, really, because even in Sheffield, I moved about houses a lot. I moved about districts, so I didn't really sort of a part of Sheffield that would call me on.
What was Hull like? Were you posh? Were you poor?
Hull? Well, when I moved to Hull, I sort of moved just straight onto the Dole, really.
Right.
And it's not a posh street. There's quite a few students on the street.
Right.
It's a mixed area, really. But
was it
terraced
Grafton
house,
Street?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah. Because just somebody tonight said, who are you getting Paul in? I used to live just up there. Everybody, you find as soon as you get any kind of notoriety, everybody lived next door to you, went out with you, knew your mother, and it's that kind of thing, the North, isn't it?
Yeah.
His mum's a bit like that.
Thank you, Dave. Yeah, it's true, though. It's the same with, House Martins. Everybody I know bought the first single, Flag Day.
Right.
Everybody says, yeah, I bought that, but it got to number 121 in the charts, so somebody's lying.
Well, they probably bought it off each other.
Club together.
Yeah.
Do you think they bought it off each other? One got it and thought, well, go on, you
Could be, yeah.
Because I got hot.
Yeah, that was.
If I don't make it to the next bit.
I'm a bit peckish as well. But anyway, you see the top bit? There's like steeply bits right at the very, very top. There's a story about a guy who was in there putting them in place, and you kind of hammer them in place and you cement them and all that kind of thing. And one of the major stones off the top fell, and it hit his hand, and it completely crushed his hand to the degree that it was hanging on by a tiny little string of flesh, and the hand fell off and hit somebody so hard on the head that it knocked them unconscious, and they had to be taken to hospital along with the hand. And the hand was already in the hospital waiting for the guy to come back. They couldn't sew it on. It ended up being a stump. But this is St. Thomas's. If you look over there, Tony, if you would care to go over and film that, it's a beautiful statue. Kenny, if you could go and light it up. It's St. George and the Dragon. Now, St. George is the patron saint of infantrymen. Don't know whether you knew that.
I did. Actually,
Also
I
a
did know
sign
that.
of incredible courage. You can see standing on the dragon's head if you go down far enough.
Superb, isn't it?
Now, this building was originally a leper hospital, and there's leper graves all over here. You know, we got plague pit there, leper graves along here, and this there's a road that goes along Barras Bridge. Kenny, you must have heard of.
Yeah.
You know what a barra is?
I don't.
A barra is a funeral mound.
Right.
Barras. So Barras, it's Barras.
Yeah.
Barras Bridge is all of the
funeral mounds.
Lepers around here.
Oh.
I'm sorry, I'm centering a lot on statues just because there's a lot here, like that one. We'll cross over and we'll have a look at it. Watch your step, guys. Div not die. There you go.
Do you know, we pass by these every day and we probably have got no idea what they mean or
Most
what they're
people
for.
have no clue at all. Now, what war do you think that's representative of? It's the Angel of Peace again.
Right.
What war?
It's not the Second World War.
Because everybody thinks it's the First World War. It's the Boer War.
Boer War, huh?
It's actually the Boer War Memorial. We, for years, used to call it the Dirty Angel. But, Kenny, if you can light up the lower things, it's an amazing statue. Steadfast in life, valiant in death. Amazing. But the statue's beautiful. But it's to commemorate those people who fought in the Boer War, which is kind of one of the forgotten wars, really.
Of course it is.
Also, why is this street called what it is, Ken?
This street here?
What's it called?
I don't even know what the street's called.
Give over.
It's
Percy Street.
Percy Street, of course it is.
Why?
Well, it must be after Percy, a Lord Percy or something like that.
An old Percy. Kenny, we have an old Percy, but it's not named after that. However, it's named after the Percy family from Newcastle, who owned this whole street. The entire street belonged to the Percy family. Now, we're going to build up a bit of head of steam because we've got a lot to do.
People from owned this street?
Yes. They owned the entire street, and they used it for bringing their cattle and their livestock to and fro to the cattle market. Around here is also the horse market.
Right, yeah.
So people used to bring horses in here and trade them. So there's a story really on every corner. Newcastle University is just around there. I'm not sure which side of the road we should be on, but I'm suggesting probably
crossing where it's quieter. Not get run over.
Probably this one.
This is George Place, I know that.
George Place?
Yeah.
It is indeed. Now, there's a story of mugging and stuff from up here, but mugging in Victorian times. Because back in the day, a lot of these modern buildings weren't there. instead, you had it was essentially, this was the end of town.
Right.
You know, everybody lived there.
Yeah.
So anybody that went outside of town was fair game to be left on and robbed.
Yeah.
And that was a particular site for robbers and muggers and all that kind of thing. Woo! We're going to be hitting it quite hard. So if you want to follow our trail, and obviously once you've seen this, you'll have a better idea of where you're going. It's just things you would never believe. Now we stop at the next corner, Tony, because I want you to look up that street. Once you get there, look up the edge. Right. Just stop here for a second.
For some reason, St James's lights are on. Wonder why.
There you go.
St James's Park.
That's in our memory because we both worked there.
That's what it might be.
No, but we're not going up the street, Tony. But I want you to know it because Percy Street used to also be called, before the Percys bought it, it used to be called Sidgate.
Right.
And a lot of really super famous people have visited Percy Street, Sidgate.
Uh-huh.
Daniel Defoe.
Right.
Sir Thomas Malory. Sir Walter Scott. The Duke of Wellington.
Really?
They've all visited up here. And a northeastern phrase was created from one of their names. Which one? Questions galore, you know.
It's not Great Scott, is it? No?
No.
Who else was it?
That was Robert Falcon Scott, who was beaten to the pool by Amundsen.
Okay.
It was
It's Night Owls.
Alan Robeson with you. Thank you again for joining us. We are talking about just magic moments from almost half a century. It sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? And Anne has been on and says, Alan, there's loads of great memories from the show. I remember when your producer was trying to kill you. You were in 50 foot of water in Loch Lomond, underneath a boat, and I was yelling at the radio, get him up, no, knowing that you couldn't swim. I was actually under the water, and my head was screaming, get me up as well. Remember when they recorded you snoring? Bet you got them back for that. I did. And you were winding Linda up, telling her Tenerife was good, but Ninerife was better, and she thought you were serious. Happy days. Mine, we had so many with Linda, you know. I had an awful lot. What starts with N, ends with N, has 19 letters, and means constipation.
Oh, I don't know that one.
You want to know the answer?
Yeah.
Dear. And I got loads of messages coming in as well as those people who are ringing in, and thanks to all of you for this. David Jack, I'm a first-time caller. I'm a little nervous. Chrissy Armstrong, it's traditional, isn't it? Chrissy Armstrong, that settled it. I'm off to subscribe to your Go Sons. Take care, Alan. Thank you, Chrissy. Joanne, wow, I grew up listening to this. I even phoned in twice and spoke with Alan. Such a shame it's ending. Pat Moore, bye, Alan. It's been a hell of a ride. All of them years. Good luck with your podcast and other stuff. Janet Scott, I've listened for 40 years. I hope another station picks up the show. Angela Cardell, best wishes, Alan, on the new ventures, and a huge thank you for Night Owls. Karen Cummings, good luck in the future. Going to miss listening to you on a Sunday night. Ryan Grimbo, the only talk show I've ever listened to. Used to always listen when out on my nighttime drives. Could listen to you every night. Ashley Vardy, no way. I've listened for 24 years. Lost without Alan. Gutted. Kelly Dent. Oh, Kelly, it's a shame. Night Owl's a massive part of my life for a number of years. I wouldn't have met my best friend Jane and be an auntie to my godson Jack if it hadn't been a Night Owl. Nice stuff. Another one's come in. This one is from Skylar in Stockholm in Sweden. Hi, Alan. Gutted to see you going from the radio for now, but what a run. I've been listening since the mid-2000s. It's been wonderful to have such a unique show to share with my friends across the country and out here in my new home of Sweden. Biggest memory of the show was the night you gave updates about Michael Jackson being rushed to hospital. My mum didn't believe it, but the next morning she told me that he had actually passed. Won one competition when I was a student in Newcastle. Got a bunch of CDs, including Wolf Alice, that I listen to nowadays. Good choice. Best wishes, Skylar in Stockholm. Great from that. And, another whole pile. Vincent Wallace, Night Owls is a huge part of the Northeast. Joe Hart, just gutted. Hopefully someone will pick you up. I've stood on street corners for years. Never got close. Anne Wilkinson was always on the radio when when I worked the twilight shift in Gateway. I think that's predictive text all over. Vicky Louise May, going to be a big miss. Andy Scott, I've listened to Alan's Night Owls for 36 years, since the age of 14 and 15. Love the Blade Runner Super Quizzes. Colin Ebdale, all the best, Alan, from CC Clogs. Cheers. Tori Headley to be. You'll be a huge miss, Mr. Robson. Take care, Alan. Helen Brunn, my mum used to ring in years ago. Good luck with your new adventures, and thank you for all the memories. And play me another one. This is Adam and Anna. I once called the show to get some relationship advice. My girlfriend was very unhappy about me pickling eggs in the kitchen of our flat in Gateshead. She said the pickle jar smelled. I beg to differ. Just to let you know, we since got engaged. We're getting married on the 23rd of this month. Can we have a shout out? We love the show. Adam and Anna, thank you very much, all of you. And David Johnson wants to mention, he's been feeling a bit down, and he wants to know if there are any autism groups. We've tried this a few times without success, but we will keep trying for you, David. 0191 488 3188. And we have, blimey, a name from the past. Those of you that have been with me for any length of time will know the parascending, the parachuting, the bungee jumping, the zip wires, all of this kind of stuff. The nickname Flashing Blade stuck. And I once brought a young lad into the studio to do the show, pretty much on his own, but with me in the background. And his name was Little Flash. And he's on the telephone right now. Hello, Little Flash.
Hello, old friend.
Hello, mate. Big Flash now, I'm guessing. So,
yeah, 42 now.
That's ridiculous. That is the most ridiculous thing in the world. Because in my head, you'll always be Little Flash, you see. That's the thing.
I know. Wow, Alan. Well, I mean, you just mentioned the story there, but very briefly, kind of trip down memory lane for you.
Yeah.
I remember ringing you. I was about 8 at my auntie's house, and I always wanted to work in radio, so I was little, so I was 3. I used to walk around the house with my phone and with my finger in my ear. My mum would tell us to do jobs around the house. I go, not now, Mum, I'm on air. Anyway, we came to see you in the Lambton Worm, and I mean, I remember we came to see you so many times in the Lambton Worm, and my mum wrote to you, 10th of May 1989. And I don't know if you remember that day, but you'd actually managed to get the news, the local news, to say that you'd finished at Metro, and nobody knew who was. You was going to be a replacement, but no one knew who it was going to be.
Right.
And then you had me do the first hour, so there was this big build up to that happening. I came up to see you about 7 o'clock that night. We had a walk around the studio. I've still got the jumper. So my mum knitted me a jumper and you a jumper. And I've still got the jumper. I've still got the scrapbook. And yeah, like you said, I did the first hour. And I've still got the cassette of that. But your investment in me, and I know I've emailed you before, but your investment in me that night, and then subsequently was a few times after that. I remember getting involved in community radio, and I turned up one Saturday afternoon with a reel and said, would you do some jingles for us? And you were like, okay. I mean, you just invested so much time in me. And I went on to do magic and perform myself, and you were the spark. Ultimately, so it's difficult to even put into words how grateful I am. You're just brilliant, and I'm sad to see you go, but I think you deserve the rest, and just amazing, Alan. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Flash. Hey, it was great having you. You were an absolute star from the beginning. You were a natural, and we knew you were going to do something. So well done, and thank you for that. It's very kind, Flash.
Thank you very much. Take care of yourself, Alan.
No worries, man. Bye-bye. Blimey, heartbreaking stuff. Whole ton of stuff here. We want happy. Give me happy, because that's what we're for, for heaven's sake. Fran, you'd be such a miss. Good luck on whatever you do. Ian Curtin. Wow, I grew up listening to you from my early teens, lying in bed when I shouldn't have been listening, and on and off for 30 years. Never always agreed with Alan's opinions. That's a fact. But a good show that kept me entertained for hours. Good luck in the future. Chris Goodman, he's the best radio presenter. Full stop. Great to listen to. Generally cares about you. Good luck, Alan. Mandy Morgan. Going to be a big gap in our lives. Thanks for all the years, Alan. You're a legend. Lovely ghost stories, the hunts, the chats, events. Far too much to mention. Miss you already. Good luck for the future, whatever you're up to. Thank you. Irene Johnston, wishing you all the best. Listen for years. So sad. You're a legend. I'm not sad I'm a legend. I'm quite happy about that. Rita Morris, going to be a big miss, Alan. Wish you all the best for the future. Denise Douglas, Dee. So sad, my pal. Miss you so much. Great memories. Rock on. Will do. Susan Lewins, end of a precious era. Thank you for getting me through so many lonely nights growing up. John Brunton, I'm honestly in shock. Always thought 9 Owls would go on forever. Well, we will, but I'm not planning to stop. And, like I said before, you kind of miss me if I won't go away. And Mark Laker said, end of an era, a true radio great. Thank you. Ray Rose, who was a broadcaster here, has texted me as well. Thank you, Ray, if you're listening. The best there ever was, he said, which is more than I deserve. Right. Terry, Newcastle. Hello, Terry.
Hey, Alan, you all right?
Yes, good, mate. What can we do for you?
I just want your advice, Alan.
Uh-huh.
I listen to you all the time.
Thank you.
And basically, like, about 7 years ago, so the woman, she left us for my best friend.
Yeah, you've got your radio on in the background, and we can hear both of them kind of bleeding on top of each other. Just switch one off. It was something about a girlfriend cheating on you, was it, or something of that
She
sort?
did, so about 7 years ago.
Right.
About 7 years ago, my best friend, he cheated on us with limos, and he left us.
Right.
My girlfriend left us, and she was sleeping with me. My best friend was sleeping with my girlfriend behind me back.
Yeah. Well, neither of them deserved you. I presume they're both out the picture now, are they, Terry?
They are, but I'm back involved with my ex, but just for the kids and stuff. And
right, I know that's a necessity, though, isn't it? Rather than a pleasure. That's the thing.
It is. I want your advice because I was going to work, and like obviously, I was going to work with my best friend who I took in. He was in trouble at the time. I took him in, and they were going together like I was in work and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, advice, you've done everything right. You're not with her anymore, and he's not your mate, because he was never your mate if he's going to do something like that.
No, he was never. He was my friend. I tried to help him, but he's in jail now.
Right. Well, best place for him. Maybe he can find a new partner when he's in there.
I hope so, but obviously I'm back involved with her now because obviously I do love her, but obviously what they've done was devastating. And
yeah, but you've had a few years to get past it. Why do you think you can't?
I think basically because I loved her so much, and obviously when I used to go to work and stuff, obviously they were cheating on us like in the background, and it was hard to get over. So I got on, I had my own life. In the meantime, then we've done that, and obviously he's away now. She's had her own life, but now I'm back on the scene.
Right.
And I don't know what you think the best advice to do is, because it is hard because I've got the kids around. Like I do speak all the time.
Yeah, but do you not think that maybe if this other guy was out of prison, she'd be with him? But he's not out of prison, so she's just said, well, I'll go back to the other guy and I'll start having him in my life. You just got to be careful that you don't end up just being used here, Terry. Because you're vulnerable, aren't you? That's the thing. It sounds like she's trying to suck the two of you back together so that, there's somebody there for her and the kids. But who's to say when this other guy gets out, or the next guy she likes the look of comes by, she dumps you again, and you're back to square one again.
That's what I think. That's why I rang you, Alan, because it is, and I'm stuck because obviously that happened, and in my life I moved on and got on with my life. So he got on my life, he got on with his life. Now I've come back. It's just basic case of
Sounds like she's got nobody else to play with, man. And it looks like she knows she's got you as a friend because you're like father of children, what have you. If I were you, I'd just be very careful. Enjoy.
I love her.
Well, I know, but that's what makes you a soft poo, if you know what I mean. You've just got to see it for what it is. You know, this is not. Oh, I've suddenly realised how you're the only man for me, because she hasn't. The other guy's not around, and you are. So let's do things with this guy. And just be careful. Don't get your heart broken again, because that's the risk you're running here. You already know she will cheat on you. So do you really want to get into that again?
I don't. You know what it is, obviously, because of the kids, obviously, get that relationship where you be okay and stuff. Sure. I really don't, but I fall for her, and she's like, that's what I'm scared of, because she does these things.
Yeah.
And it is hard. It's easier said than done.
No, absolutely. I mean, emotions that you've got because she's the mother of your children and you love your kids, I get that. But on the other hand, you've got to say, I'm going to enjoy the moment of being with my children. I'm going to be pleasant with this woman. You don't have to do anything to cause her any harm or any misery, but just don't allow yourself, because you're in control of you. You can't control what she does, but you're in control of you. You know this woman's prone to go off elsewhere. Don't put yourself in a place where you're going to be destroyed if anything like that happens. This is not suddenly, the love is back and everything's great. It's just her bloke's out the picture because he's locked up. He will get out. Then what happens? Don't allow yourself to fall too far, man. You know, see it for what it is.
You're right in what you're saying, and that's only I need some sort of confirmation, because it has all been all of a sudden since then.
There you go. Hey, just don't allow yourself to be a mug. You were a mug once, and I've been that mug too. I'm not going to let myself be there again. But thank you for calling. All the best, Terry.
Thank you, Alan.
Make it happen, man. Take care. Bye-bye. There you go. How many of you been in blame me. We've all been in similar kind of wriggles. I love this because somebody's just said, I'll read Shaggy was the headline, and it's from the Ferret. Hi, Alan. Love you, man. Thank you, Ferret. Happy memories. Shaggy was my nickname before the flashing played, and don't read more into it than the fact is I looked a lot like Shaggy from Scooby-Doo and dressed similarly kind of for a while. A whole load of others. Blame me. Going to play a bit of music. Another star coming out at night, and it's Gloria Gaynor, no less. Beverly Howells, can't believe you're going. Love the show. Hope you have success in the new adventures. I hope so too. Helen Shaw, I used to listen to you many a night on your late night phone in. My Auntie Maggie loved your program as well. That's from Leslie. Molly Jolly, so sad to hear this. Alan, you're going to be missed by so many. Thank you. Craig Ridley, good luck in the future. My childhood, right there. Stevie Watson, this is so sad. A true legend. Brian Skerr, I'm gutted, but it's about time you had more time to yourself. Been listening to you since I was a teenager. Would have loved to have got on another ghost hunt with you. Take care and rest easy. Well, you never know. We're still doing them on YouTube and Facebook every Friday. Just type in Night Owls Ghost Hunts, Alan Robson, Night Owls Ghost Hunts, and we pop up. So you don't have to miss us too much. Andrew Welsh, thank you for so many memories over the year. End of an era. Love Night Owls. Good luck, Alan. Good luck in the future. You'll be missed by a lot of people. Anne-Marie Harrison, new things coming and more freedom to do it. Looking forward to his adventures. Thank you. I'm so used to working like 14 to 16 hours a day. Just having one night a week has been devastating, because what the hell do you do? Watch the telly. What? Gonna watch the telly? It's been a nightmare. Anyway, Alex Alder, an end of an era. Love listening to Alan on low so my mum couldn't hear and tell me off. Even if one Halloween I was brave and so terrified, I ended up crying and running downstairs, still traumatized by a scream EVP. Now, what will we do without hearing about Mildred seeing UFOs while putting our washing out, Alan? It's brilliant. Alex, thank you very much. A million memories. We've all got them. I'm going to talk to Claire in South Shields, but first, Gloria Gaynor talking about religion. And if you think you've heard everybody's opinion on religion, Gloria Gaynor's is a damn right peculiar one.
And I'm just wondering, have you ever seen a ghost or had any strange phenomenon kind of experience?
I tell you what, I have had a strange phenomenon kind of, and this was such a wonderful experience. I'm a born-again Christian.
Right.
And I'm in my bedroom and I'm praying and I'm thinking, I'm talking to God as I would talk to my living Father sitting there. And I'm saying, oh, Jesus, I wish I could have seen you the way you looked when you walked on the earth, but I guess I can't see you because being in your presence would be like being in the sun without benefit of the ozone layer. Your perfection would consume me, but I thank you for allowing me to come spiritually into your throne room. And suddenly I was there.
No. So what was it like?
Experience. It was wonderful. As I stood up and I started spinning around for joy. And as I did that, I realized that all around me, 360 degrees, there were believers for as far as the eye could see, believers dressed in white on their faces. And as a cook, in retrospect, I said, it looked like a great pan of raw bread rolls. Everybody bent over. But the feeling that I had, the feeling of joy was so indescribable that when I was instantly back in my body, back at the foot of my bed, I jumped up from my bed and I went running through the house because my body was too small for me to rejoice in. My spirit wanted to be out. I didn't want to be back.
Right.
And I was running through the house, praising God and shouting hallelujah. And I'm glad my husband wasn't there because he thought I had lost my mind. But I could not contain the joy that I felt. And I realized that although I believe every word of the Bible and believe that heaven is made up of wonderful mansions and streets of gold and all of that, I believe that the main joy of being in heaven is just being in the presence of God. Because when I was there in his presence, the joy was indescribable.
And there was a phrase from that.
Yeah. And we hear people say it all the time.
Do we?
Give them some welly.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Give it some welly.
Give it some welly.
And it's not give them one of your wellies.
No.
The idea is if you want to beat somebody, if you want to attack somebody, if you want to succeed, you say, we're going to give it some welly.
Yeah.
Because we were losing badly against Napoleon at the time. And the only way we could win was by the Battle of Waterloo and giving them some welly. The Duke of Wellington.
Brilliant.
So he came here and amazing it was. So multi-story car parks all over the place. And yet it's next church down is worth having a look at because we're heading down towards St. Andrew's Church. But what's up the top of this street? You've already mentioned it once.
St. James's Park.
St. James's Park. Well, not just
the
St.
cathedral
James's.
on the hill.
That's where you worship.
Yeah.
However, it's also Gallowgate.
Yes, of course.
Gallowgate. Because just down here, Newgate Street's just there.
Yeah.
Newgate Street was where the big prison was. And it's where they sentenced people to death. But they didn't hang them at Newgate Prison.
Right.
Instead, they dragged them on carts up the hill to Gallowgate.
Right.
Morden Street.
Right.
And people used to chuck cabbages at them because they were on a cart in chains. They were going to be hanged by the neck till they were dead up the hill. So this is a a really grizzly kind of
quite historic, though, isn't it?
Part
as
of
well?
town. Oh, everywhere is though. Everywhere around here, it's fabulous. We're coming up towards Eldon Square and Eldon Garden, so Tony, just you lead the way, mate, and we'll follow you because people saying the John Le shop.
John Le instead of John
the
Lewis.
John Le shop over there.
Suddenly went French.
I think people also don't realise just how many people would come to one of the funerals, because some of the funerals and the hangings at Gallowgate had as many as 45 to 50,000 people coming to them. Now, that was the number that came to the Newcastle thing there, and it was monster.
Yeah, it was.
So imagine, and what people don't tell you is that on top of that, they would take souvenirs. Now, you already had a situation where there'd be people going around selling little people hanging on a string that they've made out of pegs and stuff. So you go and you want to buy a souvenir of. Remember when we went to that hanging at John Thompson?
What's this going for? What's this going to be?
So there we go.
What's it going to be?
It's a show and called. So that's absolutely.
Yeah.
I think we got my first edit.
He's a super. Oh, man.
We were always going to get one.
Oh, yeah.
Best go along with it. Happy days. Lisa's Lane heads up the same place. And from Newgate Street, of course, you get people flocking up, people dragging.
Toi, c'est Saint-Aigu Crêpe Canapé on thecheeselover.co.uk.
People dragging carts full of
up the hill as well.
Up the hill, I know. You would have thought it would be more sensible to have maybe it's on Old Eldon Square or whatever, but no. We're going to one church here and then we're cutting along that way because there's some incredible stories in that direction. So, I don't know how many tales you haven't heard yet of Newcastle. I don't know how many of them maybe you'd read up on, because I know a lot of you are particularly wise when it comes to all ghost things. Once again, you know the Percy influence of the castle. You see, that's Percy House.
The Percy Arms further
Percy
along.
Arms, absolutely. The impact that owning most of the land hereabouts shows itself in all directions. We're also heading up here as well. I've never been quite sure. I planned this route, and I think we should probably do our little walk through that alley at the very bottom, and then we'll cut back up here.
We're doing Chinatown.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely are.
Brilliant.
So, yeah, Chinatown, obviously, we'll be walking along. You going to sprint it?
Yeah. We can do it.
Yeah, we've got it. Just got to be super careful because Tony's not looking through his eyes. He's looking through a screen. And here we are. We're there already, pretty much. Here it is. Right.
You know, when you split down the names of places, it makes sense, doesn't it? Like Newgate.
See this fire escape?
Oh, right, yeah.
There was a fire here in 1882, and a man ran up the fire escape.
That one, yeah.
And when he got to the top, a person on fire ran into his arms. They both started burning and fell. The man who was burning, when he landed on the ground on top of the fireman, put the fire out.
Right.
So the guy who was on fire was saved by just a random citizen who went up there to try and save them. That fire escape, right there.
Wow.
But the main story is here. Oldest church in Newcastle. Now, I don't know whether we can get in here. If not, we might be able to get in up the top end. So we'll have a look. I'm not sure. But there's a graveyard here that's round the back. It's the Church of St Andrews, as you can see.
Scottish flag on there.
Well, obviously, he's the patron
St
saint.
Andrew, of course.
And
the Church of England.
Yes, but it's the oldest church in this town, as it quite rightly says.
Oh, brilliant.
Did we drop something there?
No, that was just a
bit of can, right? Now, have a look at it, because on the walls here, there are
Night Owls now.
0191 488 3188.
This is real life conversation with the voice of the North.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Welcome back. Alan Robson with you. We are Greatest Hits Radio Northeast, and with a heavy emphasis on Northeast. So thank you very much for all your kindness. I've been swamped with just loveliness. So thank you very much for all of that. However, time for your second clue, so you could be a winner and win one of our Mugsy things. We never know what to call them, but he usually puts like a slide up saying, showing you on screen what it is that you... There it is. Watch it competition prize, a non-spill Night Owls cup. It's one of those that keeps stuff hot if it's hot, keeps stuff... It's got a memory. Keeps stuff cold when it's cold. You don't have to tell it or anything. So if you want to win one of these collector's items, we said, and we weren't kidding, I'm going to give you 4 clues. Each clue will give you the name of a song, a hit song, and you've got to work out what the 4 hits were and then tell me whose hits they were. Quite a clever one this week, I thought. First clue, a Sunderland supporter's nickname. That's your first clue, a Sunderland supporter's nickname. And the second clue, Nick Cotton's nickname in EastEnders. He was known as something Nick. Nick Cotton's nickname in EastEnders. What was his nickname? Nick Cotton. Bit of an old school clue that, but see if you can work it out. You've got 2 hit songs now. Whose hits? Just keep it in abeyance. 2 more clues to come, then you can ring in and hopefully win something. So do that. Couple of things. Glenn from Sunderland and Pauline of York have said they want to, is anything they can do to support me in the show? Well, loads, basically. Just watch out for me wherever you are. Check me out online. I'll be doing something somewhere. And Robson's World, you can always go on and have a look around there. That's cool. That's my personal website. And also, to become a supporter, I think there's a few... little things you click on and it shows you how to do all of that. So easy peasy. Lots more people sending stuff in. I don't want to miss anybody out. I want to answer everything that I can for you very quickly. Kim Douglas, gutted, Alan. Alan's always been there. Helped me through so much. We need him. Thank you, Kim. Shane Swift, good luck, Alan. You deserve the best. I had the pleasure of meeting you at a Night Owl party. A nice bloke. Please continue to entertain us in whatever way it may be. Julie McAlpine, such sad news. I, for one, will miss Night Owls. Wish you all the luck in the world. A big thank you for all you've done over the years. Mark Watts, absolutely the end of an era. I wish Alan the best for years to come. Thank you for the memories. Sarah Carmichael, absolutely love Night Owls, especially when there's Jean and Linda and Matthew and Neil come on. Going to be such a miss. But all the luck in the world, whatever you do. Lots of hearts. Karen Wright, I'm listening to Alan, listening since my teens over 30 years ago, when I listened secretly with my Walkman hidden under the pillow. You'll be a big miss. I wish you the best for the future. Hopefully we'll hear you back on the airwaves. Moira Manson, listen to Alan from day one. Going to be a sad day. Rang in, spoke to Alan many times. Met you at Seaburn and a couple of ghost hunts. Won't be the same without you. Good luck. Sean Brown, I never used to listen to your show every night when I was younger. Them ghost hunts, though, especially Chillingham Castle. It was the best one I heard. I remember I hid under my blanket with my light on. Never slept that night, but it was such a good show. Hope whatever you do, I wish you all the very best. That's from Sean. Thank you, Sean. Let's crack on. Let's get some calls in. We want some happy memories and daft memories and all of that. Or talk about whatever the hell you want to talk about. Is usually when I tell you to talk about something, it's the one thing you never talk about. So, but tonight it's different, and I appreciate that. Thank you very much. Claire is with us, and she is in South Shields. Hello, Claire.
Hello.
Hello, darling. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm good.
Good.
I just wanted to start off. I've got a list.
All right.
So I've got it all written down so I don't forget anything.
Oh, that's good. Prep
First
sheets,
of all,
always a good idea. Right.
I want to congratulate you for all you've done.
Thank you.
You've helped me massively for losing my mum, and you know my dad Steve. So we've had lots of help from you, and we just want to thank you very much and for all the memories. I seen you in the Tina Turner concert in, I think it was 98 or 99, and my dad put us on his shoulders and you saw a T-shirt. It was my one.
There you go. Brilliant.
I still got the T-shirt.
Excellent.
Never forget the day. I kind of want to talk about you instead.
Okay.
I want to turn it round.
Right.
I want to ask how you feel. How do you feel knowing you've helped so many people?
Hey, it's one of those things. If I'm honest, it's lovely. It's lovely that anybody has anything nice to say about anybody, but especially me. So I'm very humbled by all of that. It's weird because it's kind of like, you know how on the internet, people get trolled and nasty and this, you hate you and you're this and you're that, you know. You tend to remember the horrible, and you tend to push to one side the really nice things. Because, I mean, it's a flood of lovely that I've had tonight, and I'm very grateful. But
it must be difficult driving home, listening to everybody's problems. Like, you're not paid in that sense, are you? Like, you're not, I don't know if you're a counsellor, I don't know what you're trained in, but you have to listen to everyone's problems and take that home. It must come in your head every time you're driving home. Thank God.
I mean, the heavy ones, and there's been lots of really heavy stuff, and you would drive home late in the evening. The weird thing about it was, while you're on air, you do something really heavy, then your next call might be something just stupid and funny. And it's hard even, you laugh and you think, oh, should I have laughed because the last call was like horrific? But it was the nature of the show. You had to be up for the next call, whatever it was. When you got home, you cannot sleep for 2 or 3 hours because it's all buzzing around in your head.
Does it go through your head? It must go through your head what you've listened to on a night time.
Yeah, and what I've always done is I go through and I say, oh, I should have said that, and I should have said this, and maybe I shouldn't have said that, but I should have said. I go through the rigors, but on the show, you've always got to answer immediately. So it's not always the right answer, and it's not always the best thing to say, and you end up getting criticised.
I kind of wondered sometimes, like when you got out of the studio and then you had to drive home and you thought about the question, like, did it affect your life?
Yeah, it was my life. I mean, for most of it, and it rebounded.
And everybody thinks it's just in work, but it's not.
No,
I bet you've took a lot of work home with you.
Always, yeah, of course. And you got to remember that the way that I did it, and cost me an awful lot of private life over the years. I was getting home at between, depending where I lived, 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, then thinking about stuff for an hour or two. And I was driving back to work at 11:30. So you'd get like 5.5, 6 hours sleep. Then you're up and you're going straight back in because you want to prepare well enough so that the show's an absolute blast. Because if you prepare everything, the show's just fun, unless you get something heavy on. But it's usually just fun. But that's what we tried to make it flow as best we could. But no, it kept me awake a lot. But hey, anybody that cares about what they do.
Do you know how much you've probably done for people in your time, though? I think, like, I'm kind of one of them people that overthink things, but like, I do think, like, how much you've done for people.
It's kind of
it must affect you as a person, because you're not just somebody that sits on the radio. You're actually a human being like everybody else, and I just wanted to find out, like, your side of it, like, instead of it always just being for show. Like, it must have its toll on you.
Yeah, well, you know, I haven't been married a lot for fun. You know, it's
I said that to Thomas tonight.
It's affected my private life massively, and still does in a different way now, because I'm looking for something else to do that's the same. You know, that's helping, that's making me useful. Because I don't feel, obviously, I've never felt as useful doing one night a week as I could be doing 6. So that's been a major kind of change. And we've ended up doing things off air, but on Facebook and YouTube and podcasts and websites. You try and do all of them as to replace it. But
But
what
how,
I've always
is that
believed
going to
that,
work with older people? Because
Yeah.
I'm only 37.
Right.
I haven't got a clue about podcasts and stuff like that yet.
Yeah,
How
and
does the
I
older
get it.
generation understand how to find you again? Like,
I
I
think
think it's an important question.
it is. I
Because you can
think
keep asking it and asking it, but and bragging it, but unless they don't know how to do it,
Yeah.
they don't know how to get this
I
with
think
you again.
I think the key is if you've got a telephone, you go on to you go into Google and you type in Alan Robson's podcast and it'll take you there. You type in Robson's World, it'll take you there. Type in, granted, Facebook is not everybody's cup of tea, but if not, you go to YouTube. That's on
Right,
your
and
Google.
it'll be,
That's on
will
your
that be
Google.
live or not? It won't, will it?
Yes.
It will.
Well, it'll be. If you're a supporter, it'll be live every Tuesday. If you're not a supporter, you can still watch it recorded live on a Friday. Right.
Right. So to be a supporter, let's just clarify just for people that don't understand. You have to pay like a little fee, don't you? It's not a lot.
No, but you don't need to watch it on a Friday. Doesn't cost you anything. You just go on YouTube and watch it.
On a Friday.
Yeah. So it
Just for
doesn't
my
cost you
dad,
anything.
because my dad's going to miss you loads, and I wanted to figure out how I got him into it.
Right. Hey, don't worry about it. Just go. Just enjoy it on a Friday. It's free. Help yourself. That's the thing. I'm not going to. I'm not twisting anybody's arm.
I'm
to
sorry,
do
I'm just
anything.
trying to wait it out for other people because it is confusing.
No,
it is.
it is for me too. Because I would
know,
just
I
rather
know.
sit here and chat, if you don't mind. You know, genuinely,
Yeah.
I'd rather still be doing this.
Doing what you do.
Absolutely. But hey, thank you very much, Kelly, for
I-
turning the
Can I
tables.
just say? Can I say a couple more things? How you go?
Yeah, go.
Thomas's Nana, you might remember, Nana Hilda Watson.
Yes.
Obviously, she passed away a long time, and Thomas says, "Can you mention her?" Like, obviously, so I've just done it. And Peggy Thompson, who lives next door to me, she's a regular too.
Lovely.
And just want to say thank you for all you've done.
Not a
You've helped me through a dark place, and my dad, and probably millions of other people. So you should be really proud of yourself.
Well, thanks very much, Claire. Thank you for doing that. And love to the family as well. Give Peggy a knock and thank her too, if you will.
I will do.
All right.
You
Thanks
take
a lot,
care, and
Claire.
thank you for everything.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Oh, there you go. 01914 488 3188. There's another batch in. I'm reading as much as I'm chatting to you guys. Yeah. Deborah Wood, so sad, great show. Don't know why it's gone from every night to once a week. Be a big miss. Alison Naylor, grew up listening to Night Owls. It's addictive. And I was always tired at school. Then in later years, I was always tired for work. I've sent a few texts to the show, but was never brave enough to telephone in. Just loved hearing everybody else's stories and opinions. Some had me close to tears. Other made me laugh out loud and cheered me up. The ghost hunts made me lie rigid in bed, terrified to look around the room. It's a great show. Music is on every station. I'm sad that this is happening, Alan. You get tired of it. And all the lovely Night Owls. Thank you for keeping me entertained over the last 45 years. Blame me. Christopher Aaron Todd. Going to miss you, Alan. Been listening to you since I was 12. I'm 39 now. You've given me endless hours of pleasure listening to the amazing shows. You've also helped through some of the dark times and unwittingly given me advice when I've heard you giving advice to others. Thank you so much. Wish you all the best. Hope to hear you elsewhere. With love and best wishes, Chris from Sacriston. He's been a staunch. Amanda Hutchinson. Love listening to Night Owls from being a teenager. Feel so sad to know the show's coming to an end. Thank you, Alan, for bringing laughter with your quick wit and humour, comfort and support to those who need it most, and for being the amazing legend, the Flashing Blade. Good luck on future ventures. Much love to you and your lovely wife. Thank you. David Dempster, good luck, Alan, in the future. Keep up the ghost hunting videos. Hopefully we'll see you up in Eyemouth one day. Oh, there's a shout. Eyemouth, my goodness, yeah. Paula Marshall. Wishing you all the best, Alan. We've always listened, phoned in, and enjoyed your programs for many years. Whatever happens, we wish you all the best with your adventures. Oh, hang on. I've got to spool down a mail as well. Hell's teeth, how many of these? There's just a few more. Paula Marshall, wishing you all the best. Oh, we've done that one. Faye Louise Diston, thank you, Alan, for making my teenage years entertaining. And also, when I turned into an adult, you'll be a great miss on the radio, but I'll still be following you on your ghost tours and videos. Yvonne Robinson, wishing you all the best in your new ventures. You'll be missed on late night radio by many, including my mum, who's age 91. She's listening to you right now. Hello, Mother! She goes to bed with you every Sunday night, which is great. And Lou Mino Lee, the show has been a huge support to so many people under so many different circumstances, and it's helped so many. Thank you for all you've done and continue to do. Thank you very much. Right, let's get some calls. Kelly's with us. She's in Jarrow. Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Alan.
Hello, love. What can we do for
I'm
you
not
tonight?
in Jarrow, though. I'm in Sunderland.
Well, I've got you in. You have to. Could you drive there now just to keep me right?
Can I drive, Alan?
We have to walk. But anyway, Kelly in Sunderland. Hello. Good to talk to you.
Right. Well, I'm just back from the Night Owls meetup.
All right. Great.
Absolutely amazing people.
Yeah, special folk.
I mean, that's something that, I mean, I know what's happened, and everyone's ringing in, and everything's a bit doom and gloom, but I'm choosing to see it as a positive thing that we've had you for all this time, and we've been able to enjoy your shows, and that's the way I'm looking at it anyway.
Thank you. That's great.
Now, I've got a few things that I need to thank you for, because you've left us with some brilliant memories of sitting and listening to you with my mum when I was little.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people, you got me to sleep to when I was little. Then there's all the friends I've made through Night Owls and the chat and stuff like that. Like I say, great people that I would never have met if it wasn't for your show.
Thank you.
And my current partner I'm with now, that's through your show. We both weren't looking for it. I knew what was going on when we started speaking in there. We were both in relationships that weren't working. They'd been over for a couple of years.
Right.
But it was one night I just decided to go on to see what it was like. I'd never watched live. And it was Jimmy Allen's. Was it Jimmy Allen's?
All right, in Durham. Yeah, that wasn't that long ago.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the night I first started speaking to him on there.
Right.
And now he's up this way, and we're together and happy, and
great.
We're happy to thank for that.
And that's the result. It's down to you two. It's just I just happened to be the thing that you bounced off, which is great. I mean, that's what it was for, just to get people talking. That's what we do.
It's totally changed my life. I've suffered with anxiety and stuff from being about 16, but I got really bad agoraphobia, and I've been stuck in the house for 5 years. I never left the house.
Blimey, right.
Now, since all of this, and like I said, coming on to Night Owls and talking to people, meeting Mark, like it's totally changed my life. I've left the house. I'm going out.
Brilliant.
I just feel like I've been given myself back, if you know what I mean.
Fabulous. That's as good a story as I'd ever want to hear from anything that I've done. So that's brilliant.
Like I'll always have you to thank for that, because if I hadn't have gone on there that night, we would never have met.
That's fantastic. Hey, well, thank you very much. Thanks for being part of what we do. I mean, that's always been the deal, isn't it? We look after each other.
Oh, by the way, Alan, I sent Tony some pictures of tonight's meetup through WhatsApp.
Right.
So you can go on and have a look if you like. And
he's digging them out for me. I'll have a look at them in the next break. That's brilliant. Thank you very much.
And I was also violated by your dog tonight.
What do you mean you were violated by a dog?
I was violated by your dog. We took one of the supporters, Safi, took a dog.
Right. Oh, I have met said dog. Right.
Yeah. It's a very friendly dog.
Bit too friendly, was it?
Bit too friendly when it's got its head in places it shouldn't have.
Yeah. I've never understood that, but dogs have a habit, don't they?
I've never ever been motorboated by your dog.
Well, you see, that's what happens when you eventually go out. You got to take the rough with the smooth, Kelly.
I'm gonna have to rethink going out, Alan.
That's fantastic. Hey, but thank you very much for coming on, Kelly. I'm going to have a look at the photos. He's literally just sent them through. Thank you very much for coming.
No problem. Lovely to speak to you.
Always a pleasure. Thanks, Kelly. Bye-bye. Oh, I was violated by a dog. 01914883188. Let's talk to Matt. He's in Embleton. Hi, Matt. Hello, Matt. Oh, I tell a lie. It's Ian. Or was it Ian? Or is it Matt? It's Ian. Hello, Ian.
Hello, Alan.
Oh, there he is. Hello, mate. What can we do for you?
I've got two quick things for you because I know you've got loads of calls to get to.
Nice one.
So, number one is memories of night owls.
Oh, go on then.
Ooh. Like most people, I probably started listening under the covers years ago.
Right, yeah.
Especially on a Sunday night, dropping off to sleep, listening to you. But I think the biggest memory I would say for night owls is I always used to listen when Anne from West End came on.
Right, yeah.
She was like a local legend.
Absolutely.
And it was like, is Anne going to come on this week or not? So it was great hearing about her. I don't know what happened to her.
Sure, she's still with us. She's phoned in tonight. And incidentally, one of my first memories of Anne suffered from agoraphobia and she never left the house. And I was opening a shop in, not my shop, I was hired to open somebody else's shop on the top of Northumberland Street in Newcastle. And it was the first time Anne had left the house in years. But she came out to see me there. And I thought that was a gutsy, courageous thing. And she's been ringing in ever since. She's about somewhere. I've seen her name tonight. So she might be on later on. You never know.
Excellent. So my second quick thing was that I was on a training course a couple of months ago. And there was, when you go on training courses, you forget most things. There was this one little phrase that stood out, and it was, not every change is an improvement, but every improvement is a change. So I was thinking about night owls over the years and you being on the radio and stuff. I was thinking, what's the biggest improvement that you've seen in the Northeast over the past years when you've been about? I know for me, I'm sort of a Newcastle lad, so pedestrianisation of Northumberland Street, or maybe patisserie Gregory having sausage rolls available for your freezer at home instead of having to buy them in the shop, those sorts of things were quite nice. There was I even went the other day for a walk around the old brewery site, where they've got all these massive multicoloured skyscrapers and stuff, which some people love, some people loathe. So it's just interesting. What's been your biggest improvement you've seen over the years you've been on air in the Northeast?
Oh, do you know, this is going to sound like, I don't want to sound trumpety blowing in any shape or form, but the one thing that I have noticed over the years, when I first started doing the show and changed it into instead of shouting at people, it was, well, why don't we listen to people? They might actually have something worth hearing. You guys, it's you guys, and the way that the world kind of turned, because when I first started, a lot of racists, a lot of nasty kicking around, a lot of people beating up gay people and having a horrendous opinion of anybody that had different religious views to whatever yours or theirs was. And over the years, and I'm not sure that it's necessarily down to me. I think it's more down to the people that rang in, which is you guys. Over the years, you lot would then come on and say, you're out of order, this is wrong, it's terrible, you shouldn't have said that. And you changed people's opinions about, or you made people think more about the opinions that they had about things. And I watched that, and at the very beginning, it was like 50-50, I'm not a racist, but I'm a racist, and back and forth. And then I saw it go like 60-40, 70-30, 80-20, 90-10, and now it's about 95-5. There's still a bunch of, frankly, knackers out there, but they're in the minority now, massively, as opposed to the way they were. And when I go to places like, I went to a cash and carry not that long ago, and they pulled me to one side and they just went, I want to thank you for what you did for our community. It was like the Asian community in the West End. And they're saying you changed the landscape just on your own. And it wasn't me, it was you. It was you guys that should have been thanked, because you know the difference between what's right and what's wrong. And if you've got a sounding board, like obviously Night Owls was, if you've got a sounding board, that opinion carries huge amounts of weight. And you guys changed the North. And yes, you can look at buildings and streets and, oh, it's a nice pub now. And there's a few places more places you can go to see gigs and da-di-da. A lot of that's improved. But the people and the attitudes and the things that people believe now are fabulous. And it's not down to me. Don't think for a second, because it's not. It's down to somebody voices an opinion, and then you guys pick it apart. And if they're wrong, you let them know. If they're not wrong, you agree with them. And it's the weight of right.
I definitely agree about the people. Have you got time for a quick 30-second last story from
Of course, go on. Dip your bread.
So it's a short one, definitely. You know how Newcastle's famous for its nights out?
Yeah.
And everybody's got an opinion about football and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I was on a night out once a few years ago now, and Newcastle were playing away.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Football's on in the pub. You know, pubs get quite noisy and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Came to the end of the match. Bobby Robson came on. The whole pub went silent. I've never experienced it before or since.
Yeah.
So it's back to people, you know, got good people.
Absolutely. But you see, this is the thing that I'll never understand ever. You've got an opportunity in the North for people to have a say that changes their lives and other people's lives. And that's what I'll be aiming somehow. Haven't quite worked out all the snags yet, but that's what I'd be hoping that I can bring in the weeks, months, and years to come. So that's what I would like, because I just think it's hugely important that people have somewhere to say stuff, you know, because what do? You write to a newspaper now. You cannot do it on the telly unless you're sitting in a Jeremy Kyle-esque kind of situation. But we'll find a way to break through. But thanks for coming on, Ian. Anything else?
Thank you.
You
That's
done?
it. Thank you for your time.
Not a problem. Thanks for coming on. Got a few more things here. Hi, I'll miss you. Winding up. Gee, Linda Anders singing. Matthew from Newcastle. So many friends I've never met. Chris on the switchboard. Hollywood McShane. Nicola and others from the old place. My favourite memory from the show was when Ross Noble duped you. Classic. That's Chris the Truck again. Yeah, thanks for that. And the Fog and Foul, the Fog Nogs. Don't need to tell you how long Night Owls has been part of our lives. We love you and remain loyal, whatever you do. Thanks for always being there, Lynn. Thank you, Lynn. I doubted. I knew nothing less. And I'll have a look at some pictures. But first, Matt is with us in Embleton. Tried to go there before. Jump in the queue, you see, but I'm in the right place now. Hi, Matt.
Hi, Alan. How are you doing?
I'm all right. Good morning. What you got for us all?
So, obviously, just want to kind of congratulate you on, you know, nearly half a century of being on the radio. Obviously, it's sad that the Night Owls show's coming to an end. But, you know, there's lots of reasons for optimism. And just recently, I became a member of the Night Owls on Facebook.
All right. Thank you.
And our household has been engrossed in some of your recent videos. You know, the trail you did around Newcastle, like from the top of the town, where like Civic Centre is. That was fantastic.
Great.
And then we watched the evening in the Lytton Phil.
All right.
Was just, I mean, that was intense. That, you know, when the light shade came crashing down.
No, absolutely. Incidentally, have we got oh, blimey. I know the woman said she was on holiday, but she's got to be back now. We'll have to try again tomorrow and give her a ring and see if we can get that. See again?
I mean, your heart must have been racing when the light shade came down.
Oh, I'm just hearing that they don't want to give us the footage for it for some reason. And I can only imagine possibly it's because they don't want patrons to think that if they walk around the library, they're going to get hit on the head with a lamp. But I hadn't. Why didn't you tell me that? Anyway, wish I'd mentioned it now. But anyway, we did. You got the truth. So, but yes, it was one of those more. It was out of all of the things that we've done, it was probably the most surreal because I was staring down directly at where this happened. And Tony's coming up the stairs, and Kenny's in another room at the other side of the building, and I'm just staring into it, frankly, an empty room with lots of books, and I saw it fall, and it was, and then off it went. So, yeah, it was a moment, certainly, Matt, no question about it.
Yeah. And we spoke, it must be about 4 or 5 years ago now. I rang up when you were on Metro Radio.
All right.
And I asked you about the Marsden Grotto.
All right, yes.
And you told me about, I think you did a show there back in the day.
Did.
And then you were just, I think I was little back then. And just remember you telling me about the strange goings on in the Marsden Grotto. And just watching your videos on Facebook and YouTube, I definitely think you should go back there.
If they'd let us, because we have actually spoken to them and said we'd love to do this, they don't want to be known as as far as I can see, you cannot help
hotel.
You cannot help what you are, and what you've been known for locally. But they don't want to play that part of it. And I get it. It doesn't stop us coming down maybe and telling the story from outside. We can certainly do that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of history to that area as well.
For sure.
With the surrounding, like Marsden Rock and
smugglers. Absolutely, there's a lot of tales. So
I just wondered if that tankard was still there that you took a swig out of.
Yeah, absolutely. So would I. And would I do it again? I may never have ever been divorced if I hadn't drunk out of that. Never, not once. You never know.
Oh, hey, who knows?
Who can tell? Hey, but hey. We'll be about. Embleton's worth a look as well, mind, in fairness.
Yeah, well, I mean, where I live, my house kind of looks out onto the bay, and you can see Dunstanburgh Castle.
Ah, wow.
There's a lot of history around there. And then obviously I'm not far from Alnwick Castle, and then a few minutes up the road you've got Bamborough. And obviously I watched your video there, your little trek into the woods.
Yeah.
You picked the right weather for that.
Absolutely. Well, yeah. For some reason, I just seem to spend my whole life either in a cemetery or soaking wet these days. It's an odd thing, but we'll keep on keeping on. Matt, thanks very much for calling.
It's entertaining. Thanks very much, Alan. All the best.
And to you. Bye-bye. And don't forget, if you want to watch those kind of grisly, ghosty habnabs, Friday, 9:00. Or you can just go onto YouTube and have a look at them anytime, can't you, Tony? Just go to YouTube and you can watch them. Yeah, that's all you do. Right, a quick rattle and then a star who comes out at night, because we do that kind of thing. Clue 1 is a Sunderland supporter's nickname. Clue 2, Nick Cotton's nickname in EastEnders. 2 more to come. You'll get the next one in about 15, 20 minutes. And then 15 minutes after that, you'll get the last one. So we're nearly there. Just want to rattle some of these off because they're endless, it seems. Margaret Ann Dunsford. End of an era. Sad day for all of us, Alan. We're going to miss you and the Night Owls and all of the team. Bless you. Love and hugs. And bye-bye, you lovely people. Andrew James Fenwick Green with a hyphen. But as a famous doctor once said, it's the end, but the moment has been prepared for. Robson's World, thank you. By the way, for those non-geeks, this was said by the 4th Doctor Who, Tom Baker, who fell to his death from a radio telescope, then regenerated into the 5th by Peter Davison. But the words still have meaning today. They do. Diane, been with you since day one, Alan. You've taken me from my teenage years to a few years short of being a pensioner. You will be a huge miss. Fiona Dixon, hi, Alan. I'm shocked, Alan. Going to be a big miss. Julia Gales, oh, this makes me sad. But for me, which is extremely selfish, Alan, I pretty much grew up with you and I followed you my entire 32 years of married life. It'd be a big miss, but you must do what's best for you. All the best for the future. Thank you. Philippa Bromley, been listening to Night Owls forever. You'll be much missed. Flashing Blade, the end of an era. Thank you for everything. Best wishes for the future. Vanessa Bolton gone. So sorry to read this and see you go. Best wishes for your future projects. Caitlin Cleland, absolutely gutted. I used to feel like a proper rebel, secretly listening to you on school nights when I was in my teens. Mum always knew, though, because I would mention stuff from the show. Good luck, Alan. You're an absolute legend. You have 3 generations of Cleland women listening, and Night Owls will be a big miss. And Lou, the show has been a huge support to so many people, and thank you for all you've done. So thank you for all of that. Let's have a piece of music, for greatest hits are exactly what they are. And this is one of those songs, I'm sure I've used this in a ghost hunt somewhere. It's the Stranglers song, Strange Little Girl. And in one of the ghost hunts, we were telling the story of a strange little girl. In this song, it's creepy, it's spooky, it's fun, it's odd. It's the Stranglers all over. Now, the good news is that one of the Stranglers is a mate, Baz Warren, a lad from Sunderland. And he's been in a few times to see me, so I thought I'd play a clip from him. I've interviewed the other guys too, but Baz and Jean-Jacques are my 2 main men. This is Baz talking about Claire's. For those of you what get your Claire's on, man. Ho. Oh, listen.
What's the wackiest outfit you ever had on it?
I don't know about wacky, but cringingly embarrassing. As most Northeast musicians, I don't think I know one single Northeast musician who hasn't done a stint on the clubs.
Yeah.
Or more than one stint on the clubs, and I've spent many a year there. I tell you.
Right.
I used to be in a club band, and I borrowed. Oh God, I'm thinking about it. I came across a picture of myself the other day, and it had. Well, maybe I should rephrase that. I saw a picture of myself the other day.
Some people use porn.
I did hey walking. Yes, whatever lifts your skirt. I always say. I had a pair of little leather tucker boots on, tucked into skin tight black trousers. Right? I had a silver shirt with a woman's brooch, like a cameo brooch.
Oh my
on
God!
Here. I had the old.
You were living in
John,
Sunderland.
I was, but it was my stage get up. I hastened to add. I wouldn't have dared gone out in the street looking like that.
Right.
Although I did go out one time with a flying suit on and heavily made up eyes, mascara and stuff. I didn't. This
is before you discovered women.
No, it was a woman that did it. It was. You look great with makeup on. Oh, great eyeliner, the whole 9 yards, and I went out like that.
If it gets you what you need,
well,
that's what men did then.
I didn't do it anymore. I tell you,
no,
I went out. I saw this thing. I had a silver shirt on with a brooch on. I had the old John Taylor, Duran sort of hair with the flicked bit and the long mullet at the back and the dyed bit at the front.
Yeah.
And but the crown and glory was a floor length silver coat with shoulder pads. The sort of coat that they used, like Simple Minds would wear.
Or David Coverdale during his hit kind of long.
That's,
I know
that's
exactly
the very fellow and I mean, how cringing were they? But you kind of
they looked great at the time. I remember looking up at Coverdale on stage wearing such a coat, and I was thinking, God, that coat would be fantastic. You wore it in the street, you'd get 10 yards
lynched,
and you'd
man.
be
Christ,
home.
aye.
On the church in various places, because this place was shelled during the English Civil War when it was fighting for King Charles I, and Oliver Cromwell's men fired cannonballs into it. There's definitely 2 on the tower at the back, so we're going to walk our way around. And there you go.
Mad.
I think maybe the only way you can get in is during the day when it's open. I don't know where. I've never seen a doorway for it.
Charles Avison. There you go.
Yes, Charles Avison. His name was. He was a composer. Did it say that? His ghost is the one that walks here. He's buried here. 70. He was buried under the porch here. Oh, it says so. It is. Hello, mate. You're right.
I recognise you. I listen to your voice every night on the radio.
Good man. Well, nice to see you. Thank you very much.
Your voice. I did recognise you.
Wait, it's good you did. Thank you very much indeed.
Are you
Listen,
doing a ghost hunt or what?
We are. We're in the middle of one, man. So
I see you on YouTube and all.
Good man. Thanks again.
Go on, mate.
Take it easy.
What a coincidence.
I'll tell you what can I say. So, 1770, he was buried in one of the porches, the nave porch, which is, I think, this one here. So, his body's in there, right, but he's supposed to be walking around and about this place. So, he's quite likely in there now, wondering what we're doing here and probably wishing that we'd leave them alone, leave them in peace. But we're heading up here. 11 sightings of Everson in the last 2 years. 11 sightings. So there's still something going on. Now, the bit that we're coming to up here, I still don't know how you get to it. Do you know what I mean?
We'll find a way.
I mean, usually nothing stops us. Fences, we vault in a single bound.
Including electric ones. Isn't that right, Tony? That somebody forgot to tell you. Yeah.
That's just not fair.
By the way, it's an electric one. Bit late.
Mine's still light up in the dark. I don't know about yours. Don't need to put the light on when I go to the loo in the middle of the night. So we're coming up to a place here that, you know, we're dropping names by the score. Henry VIII.
Yeah.
He was never here, right? So don't think he was. However, this street here was always a cross between Irish and Chinese, even as far back as the middle 1800s.
Right.
And a lot of the Chinese sailors used to come, and they did an awful lot of trade here. We're not going up the street.
Yeah. It's still Irish and Chinese, isn't it? Chinese and Rosie's Bar and the Irish Centre.
Chinatown. It's a different scene. There are people there who are so obscene, if you know what I mean. They're living the dream in Chinatown, where everything up must come down. There you go. Like it. It's not a rap.
Right.
It's Thin Lizzy, actually.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's up here we want to be. Fabulous story. Now, if you go along there, you come to the Tyne Theatre and Opera House, you come to the Big Needle, and you can get sweet and sour chicken balls pretty much anywhere. Chinatown, fabulous, love it. Rosie's Bar.
Yeah.
Can you remember me telling you a story about a woman who was raped and killed along the city wall?
When we're down there doing
the last one.
Yeah.
They had a drink in Rosie's Bar first.
Right.
It wasn't called Rosie's Bar at the time. It was an Irish bar.
Right.
But they were in there when it was a tavern. Obviously, still a massive Irish
Tiny
influence in all
Irish
directions. But it's up here.
Disco party bar along there.
I heard the DJ's not very good, though.
I heard he was brilliant.
Nice. We'll agree to differ. Fantastic. Chinatown. And this is the old Newcastle city wall that we're walking up now. And look at it. It's amazing. We call this area Blackfriars because it's the area of the Blackfriars. And that is the Ever Tower.
Yeah.
Are we going down? Why not?
I think we should.
Do you think any of us will look back in our lives and regret the things we didn't buy? Or the places we didn't go?
Watch your step if you're going to take a leap. Careful, Tor. Yeah, there is the Ever Tower. And behind you, one of the little gate sites, remains of the late 13th century Ever Tower, named after the family, the Evers, who helped build it. Carriage Men. It was demolished in 1908. But the Ever Tower was used as a prison for a while, right. A holding cell where they would bring them up the hill.
Oh, right.
From Newgate Prison. They'd hold them in the Ever Tower through that gate, Tony. It might be somebody, it might be the soul of somebody waiting there for you to...
Just a bin.
Just a bin.
Greatest Hits Radio.
You never know who's going to call next.
0191 488 3188.
Greatest Hits Radio.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me. If you have just joined, the world seems to be talking about the fact that we are into our last month on the Night Owls program on Greatest Hits. Hopefully we will be able to jump elsewhere with it and entertain you for another, well, at least half a century. 0191 488 3188. But let's talk to as many of you as possible. Remember, in 10 minutes' time, you get your third clue, and then you're only 15 minutes away from your final clue for a corking little competition tonight that we call Who's Hits. Okay, lots to talk about, and Louise from South Shields is with us next. Hello, Louise.
Hello, Alan.
Hello, darling. How you doing?
Hello, I'm good, thank you. And how are you?
I'm champy thing. Thank you very much. So what are you talking about tonight then, Lou?
Well, I know it's not really, but it feels like the end of an era in this house tonight.
I know.
I've been listening to you since I was in my mum's tummy. Literally.
That's great.
It's talking about the memories of Night Owls, basically. I was told a story. I mean, I've told you this story many a time, where literally my mum had heard something back in 1985. She'd heard something you said on the radio. She laughed and our waters broke, and that was me into the world, basically.
Brilliant.
So
brilliant.
good memory.
But you see, it's just great to be of use, because the one thing I would have hated, and it was funny because I had a pretty good job before leaving to join radio. I'd worked for like a dozen years in a company, and I was working part-time for ages on the wireless before I got like a full-time gig. And the one thing that I knew that if I was going to ever do something like that, I would just hated to have been somebody that, just didn't take off and didn't mean anything. Because, there's a load that go, that was, this is, here is, that was. It's time for the news.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of them. And, I just didn't want to be one of them. So thank heavens that even if the only thing I did was make a woman's waters break, I'll take that, because at least it makes makes some kind of difference somewhere down the line.
Well, it did, because I've listened to you from more or less the day I was born, the day I came out, basically. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So
that's great.
Non-stop now. I'm 37 this year, so there you go.
That's brilliant. I'll certainly take that. Thank you, Louise.
Well, I've got my own children now. I mean, as you know, I've got the two boys, and it's like a ritual. Every Sunday night, my eldest will go to bed with his radio on, ready for the 10 o'clock start.
Brilliant.
Literally.
Great.
So little plums, or a little plum gets danced to in the house and everything. We know it's Alan coming on, so it's just like a total ritual in this house.
Fantastic. I know it's good. Hey, well, just keep it up and keep listening now. We'll pop up somewhere else and we'll be back again.
Oh, you will, Alan. I know you will.
Right.
I know you will. I've got every faith in you. So I do thank you for all them years, and I know you'll still be around for many years to come.
Trying. Thank you very much, Louise. Love to the family as well. Thanks for coming on.
No problem, Alan. Catch you later.
I look forward to it. Thanks again. There's Louise. Every little breeze seems to whisper Louise. Apparently. 0191 488 3188. Or you can WhatsApp us 07863 431 837. And then Chris will find a way to get you on or pass your message or whatever, because we're doing a bit of blimey. Never had so many messages in all my life. But keep them coming. Happy with that. Stephen is with us in Dunstan. Hi, Stephen.
Good evening, Alan.
Hello, sir.
Two things for you.
Okay.
First of all, I remember when I was locked up in the Shepherd and Shepherdess Hotel.
Oh, so do I.
In Beamish on one of your ghost hunt nights.
I remember it well. You were upstairs and you got a bit of movement, I remember.
I got my head squeezed by something.
Right, I remember. That's wild.
Yeah. I was volunteered when my pregnant friend and her husband suddenly had to go to the hospital.
Oh,
right. And I got volunteered to go in there because she was going to do it. But,
Now, this was on one of our world-breaking ghost hunts.
Yeah,
where we had...
that's when everybody on the planet decided to follow you around the northeast, yes.
They did, but on top of that, we had people in ghostly places, literally even more so than the several thousand that were behind us in cars. And there's poor Stephen alone upstairs in a haunted place. But the great thing was because when you do something like that, it's a spur of the moment. It's whatever happens in the few hours that you're in there. You don't know whether you're going to get anything or whether you're going to get nothing. But blame me.
I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Brilliant. And squeezing your head. What did you feel? How did you respond when something put pressure on your head, like as if it was squeezing it?
I turned my head, Alan, and it stopped. It was a reflection. I was looking at a reflection in a TV, because I had a large screen TV in the living room.
Right.
I was looking at the reflection in the TV because I had read somewhere, or I'd heard you say, look in mirrors.
Yes, you see more in reflection.
And I looked in the reflection in the TV, and this shadow, just a black shadow standing behind me, and suddenly I felt this pressure squeezing my head.
Wow, how about that?
Took about 3 seconds, but I turned my head to the right, and the pressure stopped, and whatever it was gone, and so was I.
But it's tremendous. I love the fact that you, especially at the last moment, because what does happen with ghost hunts, and this is alarmingly regular, if you say to somebody, I'll take you, but you'll be on your own, the amount of people that go, oh, suddenly something's just cropped up. And the fact that you came to the rescue, that's tremendous. So thank you very much again, Stephen. Tremendous experience.
Second and final thing I've got to say to you, this particular call, I will call again before the end of the month, I promise you.
Thanks,
I
man.
really will.
Great.
But this time, something I was going to tell Tony,
Yeah.
but obviously busy behind the scenes.
Sure.
Have you ever heard of something called Twitch TV, Alan?
I haven't.
Right. Well, Twitch TV is a streaming platform.
Right.
Normally, it's just for gamers, but you get anybody and everybody on there.
Right.
And what they do is for subscriptions.
Right.
You can have 3 levels of subscription, so you get money coming in,
Right.
and you can stream on there for as long as you like, as many days as you like, and it's a worldwide platform.
Right.
And there are. Honestly, there are people that just sit there in bikinis whispering into microphones.
Oh, I see.
And they get hundreds of thousands of views. There are dash cam people that drive around wherever they live,
Right.
just showing the dash cam videos, and
All
they
right.
get millions of views. Honestly, Alan,
I'm just not sure about wearing the bikini, Stephen. That's the
No,
only.
I wouldn't want to see you in a bikini either, to be honest. But
You really wouldn't.
But honestly, I think it's something to think about, because it as well as being free to watch, if you haven't got the money to subscribe,
Sure.
people can send in donations. They can subscribe on a monthly basis,
Right.
just like you've got now. But the platform is huge.
Right.
I mean, honestly, Alan, there must be 10, 15 million people watch it every day.
Right. It's something we're going to be looking at all this kind of thing. Tony says he's seen it and he's aware of it. So thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. We're looking at a lot of different things. I've got a couple of options, a couple of possibilities. Fingers crossed they all come to fruition. And if they do, we rock on again, Stephen. That's how it's.
Believe it or not, Alan, I mean, look at reading on YouTube tonight, and the amount of people that are crying, and I mean literally crying, because you're not going to be there after the end of this month.
Well,
And it's just a massive shame.
Matching my heart. Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for calling.
You're more than welcome. Thank
Cheers,
you
man.
again, Alan. Bye-bye for now.
There you go. Lovely people. Very kind. 0191 488 3188. We're back talking to you lot after this.
Great. So does it?
Right. So the Avatar, yes, 30th century, 1200s. 1200s we're talking about, and 1297. Right. What happened in 1297?
1297.
I keep asking the hardest questions. It was the dissolution of the monasteries.
I knew that.
King Henry VIII decided, he couldn't get a divorce.
Right.
So, because the Pope wouldn't let him. So he says, stuff you. I'm going to create my own church. And that's how the Church of England was born.
Right.
We'll have my own church that'll let me divorce as often as I can. And this whole area here, this part of the wall, leads down to Blackfriars, which is the place at the end, if you want to light it up, Kenny.
Just down there.
Just where the castle wall juts out.
Just there.
It became the home of the the friars, and a lot of religious people.
Right.
Now, focus on the bridge. There's a bridge over. You see it?
Just there, yeah.
Well, that's where, sadly, somebody who's got nowhere to live lives, and you wouldn't want to swap our lucky lives with them. See, there's a bridge across it.
Yeah.
Right. The story of the dissolution. We'll stop here, Tony, because we could walk on and we'll end up going back in a huge circle.
We need to go there.
The Blackfriars area. Dissolution of the monasteries happened. King Henry VIII heard that the friars had been up to all kinds of no good. They'd been having sex with children. They'd been having sex with. Well, shouldn't be having sex with anybody because they're supposed to be celibate.
Yeah.
You've been with women who celibate. That's another story. But the just trying to be as bad as yours. But the friars. They had so much money because everybody gave them their cash because they wanted to enter the kingdom of heaven. So when Henry got here, Henry sent his emissaries here. They said, "What are these? Are these really holy men?" Right. And if they were holy men, all he would do is destroy their church and send them on their way. But they're saying, "No, we're not going. We're not leaving. It's too important." In other words, they wouldn't be able to make any money if they didn't have a church.
Yeah.
So Henry's men got stuck into them and started killing them. Forget hanging, just hacking them to death. One monk got away and he ran off and he hid in a tiny little place by the River Tyne that had a small well in it. And the place was called Smallwell,
right,
which became Swarwell.
Right.
And Smallwell, where he hid, he stayed there for about 3 to 4 months. Remember,
Each answer is a song title, and you're going to end up with 4 song titles, and they're all hits by the same band or artist, okay? And clue number 1 is a Sunderland supporter's nickname, and we have the second clue, Nick Cotton's nickname in EastEnders, and the third clue, a horror film that features a horrific mask, okay? Horror film featuring a horrific mask. Yeah, you've seen it, man. It's the one with that one. Yeah. So, 3 clues down. You probably know who the artist is by now. 1 more clue to come, and then we put all the phone numbers together. 1 will be digitally dialed. We've got no choice about it. The computer picks one and rings it. And if it's you, well, you win. Happy days. So let's make sure that somebody takes time to stay up long enough to be able to hear it. So hang on in there. We're nearly at the 4th clue. Quarter of an hour away, literally. Right. Who else is lurking on the line? Oh, we're off to Loftus. Hoorah. Paul is there. Hi, Paul.
Now, Alan, how are you?
I'm all right, man. Thank you for calling. What can we do for you?
Well, first off, I spoke to you last year. I was actually living at Egton at the time, and we're on about Subarus with noisy exhaust. I don't know if you remember that or not.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I've been a listener since I was about 13-year-old. I'm now 50.
Whoa.
Used to chat to Tom Stiff from Loftus, who was the Undertaker.
Yes.
Years ago. I remember that. Anyway, I was listening to your Grizzly Tales on Friday.
Right.
Which I was very interested in. I didn't know about the statue of the Old Man of the Tyne.
Right.
And things like that.
Yeah.
So I was very interested in all that. So I thought I would ring about my great uncle who's buried in St Andrew's Cemetery at Jesmond.
Oh, right. Uh-huh.
Now, cut a long story short, I was adopted and I started looking for my family in 2008 when I had kids of my own, and I found my mother and stuff, and she told me who my father was.
Right.
And then a couple of years later, I started doing some sort of family tree on my father's side, and I found my grandfather was at Gallipoli in World War One.
Whoa, that's amazing.
and he landed at Suvla.
Right.
In August 1915. And I've looked at some censuses and stuff, and there was a younger brother called Simon. And I couldn't find anything else. No, my sisters, I had some sisters on my father's side.
Right.
They didn't know anything about this Simon. My grandfather died at age 27 of TB. So he'd been through the war, Irish Independence War and all that.
Yeah.
And he was in the Free State Air Corps, and he got TB and died at age 27.
There's no justice in the world, man. There really isn't.
There isn't. I tell you what he did in his life and what I've done in mine, I feel ashamed of it, really, for the amount of stuff he'd gone through.
Sure.
Anyway, I had an auntie who died of TB as well in 1925, and this Simon did the death certificate.
Right.
Oh, bloody hell. He obviously, he survived through childhood,
Right.
So I started digging and stuff, and he got married in 1924 in Ireland, and dig a bit more, and I find out he joined the British Army in the First World War underage, twice. First time under his mother's cousin's name, Patrick Emmett, he was known as at that time. He was in France in early 1918 when there was a lot of men being drafted in because there was a lot of people ill, which was obviously the Spanish flu starting.
Yeah, that's right.
His mother had been obviously onto the local office in Dublin, kicking off about why he was in the army, he shouldn't have been in. So he was back up, he was going to be shipped home. He got to Edinburgh on the train after being sent home and jumped off, escaped or whatever, and he was in the Dublin Fusiliers the first time, so he joined the Connacht Rangers and went underage in my grandfather's name.
Wow.
Who was about 5 years older. So he joins the Connacht Rangers, he does all this training and stuff, and then he's back in France in August, September 1918, in a lot of heavy fighting at the end of the war, trying to get to the Hindenburg Line and stuff like that.
Right.
Then after the war, he decided to join again into the Connacht Rangers, still using this false grandfather's name, and was shipped off to India in early 1919.
Wow.
Then, this is all, I'm finding this stuff out through, Irish Army records and stuff.
Yeah.
Then I find out he's in this bloody mutiny in India in 1920, which was basically known as the Connacht Rangers Mutiny. There was two parts of it. The first part, he was in the first part in a place called Jalunda, which is, I think, now called Jalandhar.
Right.
And there were basically the Irish refused to fight for the British because of what the Black and Tans were doing in Ireland. That was how it started. There wasn't much violence at the time.
Right.
Then it spread to another camp in a place called Salon in the mountains in the Punjab, and there was a chap called James Daly that was leading it in the other camp, and an attempt was made to storm the magazine of the camp. And there was at least one man shot in this attempt to storm the magazine. And later on, when everyone was, locked up for it and stuff, James Daly was actually the last man to be executed for mutiny in the British Army. He'd been shot.
But to be part of it, because this isn't just your family. This is all of our history right there,
It's quite a big thing. And he, so the great uncle Simon Connolly was called. He called himself Connolly later on. O'Connell, sorry. And he shoved the name Patrick in for some reason. But I know it's, he maybe tried to distance himself from it or whatever. And then they were shipped back to England on a ship in chains with manacles around the legs and stuff. And there was a few passengers on the ship, and I've read in a few books where a few of the lads were shouting, we fought in the First World War, and this is what we've got. And he got sent to prison for 10. He was tried for 10 years, and he got released shortly after Irish independence. So he had about 3 years in prison, as did everyone else. It was obviously part of the agreement with the independence. Anyway, after that, no work in Ireland, so he moved to Manchester in 1939.
Right.
And then he sort of disappeared off the radar, and then I find him in just after the war, could have been there earlier, in Newcastle, in St. Thomas's Crescent.
What's the chance? That's fantastic history, man. That's great.
And he worked as a docker. Right. And the funny thing is, I've always liked Newcastle and stuff, and the northeast. You know, I had my adopted family come from Durham and stuff like that. And he was married, but he had no children.
Right.
And he died in 1957. And he's buried in St Andrews. And I put a headstone up in 2017, just in time for his 60th anniversary.
Ah, it's brilliant.
Like a book.
Yeah, no, it is. It's a film. It's a movie, was what it is.
I've written it all out, you know, and there's is it about 23,000 words or something like that.
Oh, you want to get that? You want to maybe contact the regiment, you know, and say, look, I've got a story of one of you guys, you know, they might be interested in publishing it, because there's so much not known about what we as a people got up to. And I mean, that was typical of the First World War. A lot of people joined up in false names because they'd take anybody, frankly. You know, they were just desperate for as many people as they could get, and they were slaughtered. So to have a story of getting through some of the biggest battles, I mean, Gallipoli was disgusting. It was one of the biggest losses of human life by our regiments. In any of the wars, it was a horrific mess, and we got our backsides kicked, frankly. But it was a hell of a story, and to come out of that, and then, you know, all that other stuff that happened is, mate, we're not just going to let you stay in England and have a nice, comfy time, or an island, should I say? And we're going to send you to India now.
I don't want to. Yeah, I don't want to do that, could you? You know, and that sort of thing. But anyway, what I was saying is, basically, he was like an unknown grave, and now he features on various graveyard tours.
Oh, that's amazing.
You know, I've had a couple of people contact me and a bit of info on him and stuff like that. And then when he died, his widow remarried a chap called I don't think the surname. Anyway, I got in touch with the chap's grandson.
Right.
And he sent me a photo of his widow marrying his grandfather.
Right. Oh, that's nice. Right.
Which was nice, because I didn't have a photo of his wife.
Right.
John Hope Robson, that was it.
Right. Oh, Robson. Could have watched them Robsons, Paul.
He was from Gosforth.
Right.
And
it'll be
Hollywell Cemetery.
It'll not be one of my Robsons if it's from Gosforth. Right.
But you know, and then eventually, I mean, I've visited Newcastle for years, and I've always liked it in the Granger Market.
Oh yes,
like, in there and stuff. And then I found out she died in there in 1974.
Oh,
she was walking through as a shortcut, and she'd had heart trouble or something, and collapsed and died in there.
How about that?
It's like a small world. It's like you sort of think, well, why did I like that place all them years before I even knew anything?
Yeah, because you had a family connection that you didn't even know about. That's wild.
Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah.
Hey, lovely story. Paul, thank you very much for ringing in. Great to hear. And you make sure you work on with that story, though. Contact the regiment. Ask them if they're interested, because if he's well known enough to be mentioned in tours these days, then, you know, he should be out there for other people to be interested and maybe do something about as well. You know, that's a great story.
He's on a stone in my grandfather's name in Glasnevin Cemetery in Dublin.
Right.
You know, that's like the big cemetery there. It's like a commemoration thing.
Yeah.
And then the unveiled a stone in County Sligo, and his name's on that. It was obviously Sligo men, but on the back it's got written everyone else that was in prison. And his name's on there, so I'm quite sort of proud of that.
No, yeah, so you should be. But great, thanks for telling us, Paul. Appreciate your call. Thanks for ringing.
Okay.
Cheers,
nice
man.
to chat to you, Alan.
Bye-bye. How nice is that? It's a family affair. As Sly and the Family Stone said for money. Linda Megson, got to thank you for your hard work you do informing us of all the history you tell us about our home grounds. I'm from Concert and I watched your video in Durham. Opened my eyes up. Thank you. Andrew Cruz, young Elvis, blimey. There's a name from the past. No way. I've got to know many a night owl through this show and shared some great memories with them. Alan Robson is a Northeast legend, and there'll never be another one like him. Thank heavens. Night Owls was a part of my childhood, and I always look forward to 10 p.m. I'd even stay up till 2 and be late for school. Back at my mum's, I got quite a few knackered cassette tapes of Night Owls from when I used to ring in. That's all good. And they keep coming. Simon, very sad news. Started listening early 90s on a Walkman. The amount of batteries I went through as a youth. Thank you, Alan, and your team for all the efforts. James Ellis, all good things come to an end. I wish Alan all the best. David Furness, sad to hear at the end of an era for Northeast Radio. Mark Lewins, Alan, and all the people who worked on Night Owls for 40 years, thank you. And there's a load of hands clapping. Thank you very much. It's been a while since I had the clap. And Lisa Armstrong says, all the best, Alan. Get to those phones, of course. Dean Weirs, good luck for the future, Alan. Great to hear Wayne on air with you, superstar. Mark Lewins, playing his lots here. The happiness, the laughter that Night Owls has offered so many lives literally saved because of Alan, and the old radio station gave us a broadcast for the people. Radio will not be the same without Night Owls. Steve Randall. It's a real shame. I joined Metro back in 87. I was on Alan's Night Owls for 18 months, then was on before him for 2 years. Thanks, Alan, for all you've done for the listeners and for making me feel so welcome. Good luck with your next chapter. Blimey, Steve, good to hear from you, man. I hope you're well. Andrea, definitely the end of an era. So sad. The best of luck to you, Alan. Thank you. Ryan, absolutely gutted. Listened to Alan for years, and in that time he's helped thousands of people with any problems they faced and kept everybody entertained. A proper legend. James Cowan, very sad news. Yes, hoping I'll be able to live on in my new home. I know how much the show has helped thousands across the Northeast and the far. Good luck with the new ventures, Alan and the team. Christine Houlihan, this is sad news. Remember listening to you in the 80s at me grands because my mum wouldn't let me stay up to listen to you. Martin Hudson, absolute legend. Very sad. Remember listening every night when I was a teen in the 90s, being on the show a couple of times doing ghost hunts and meeting the man himself. Very much an inspiration to me. Christine Impey, so sad. Alan is the voice of the Northeast. We'll listen to his podcast with interest. Thanks for the many tired mornings at college in the 80s when I couldn't turn the radio off. Good luck. Oh, blimey, and they keep coming. Off-Grid Girl. It was lovely to speak to you in 2019 about Chillingham Castle and my ghostly experience. Keep up the ghost hunts and ghost stories. We love them. All the best. We'll listen until the end. Nudge 75. Gutted. Grew up with Night Owls. Looking forward to the podcast. Thank you. Sad face. Don't have a sad face. Have a smiley face. Smiley faces are much better. David's next. He's in colour coats.
Oh, come on.
Oh, I tell a lot. No, I'm sure it's David, isn't it? Hello, David.
That's not David.
David, you got a really high voice.
That's Dean, man.
Have you had some kind of strange accident?
That's Dean, man.
It's who?
Oh, pack it in.
Who is it?
That's Dean. That's Dean.
It's Ian. Ian, you've got a really high voice. It's hard hearing you.
Sam, well, I can't have that.
Can you speak up a bit, Ian?
Yes.
Hi, Ian. I've got you now.
No, you haven't.
I have.
It's Dean. Dean.
It's Ian.
Dean.
Ian. 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 Ian.
Oh, stop it, man.
Oh, man.
Alan,
who?
It's Dean.
Oh, Jean. Hello,
Yes.
Jean.
Hello.
Got you now. I understand. I thought Ian just had a high, squeaky voice. That was all.
Help you. Listen, I've got a nice smoke. Got all the poses. George and Megan Nicola and all the group.
Yeah.
I'm holding your hair. I've got your head on my hand. I'm holding your head up on the sword.
Yeah.
On the sword. How's the bottom?
I have no idea.
I'm not yet. I've got the photos here.
Right.
And I'm thinking down. When can I come down?
Well, I don't know. I'm not here very much is the thing, and I'm not going to be here much longer at all. So
23rd.
I'm not
The
sure.
23rd.
Yeah, that's the last one.
When can I not come down?
The last
Get me a taxi next week, next Sunday.
Well, it's just there's no receptionist. There's nothing here. There's just us in a box really up here. So I would love to say yes, but I'm just not sure how we could make it work. Because
I got your cup. It's got legend on it. Alan Legend.
Oh,
it's got it on.
bless you. Right.
Yes, I've got it.
Well, I mean, the only thing you could do, I mean, I don't want you to come all the way down and then have to stand around. What you could maybe do is if you're just popping down, you ring the bell hopefully we'll be there and we can come down. I'll certainly come down and see you. That's not a problem.
What day can that be? Saturday. What day can that be?
Right.
What day?
Well, it would have to be Sunday because it's the only day I'm here. Is the thing.
Sunday. Come see.
So I tell you what, stay on the line at the end, Jean, and Chris next door can deal with it, and we'll find some way to make it happen. But it would literally just be hit and run though, like in it kind of in and out was the thing, because that's probably the best we can do.
And then get a taxi back.
Oh well, that's a lovely thing. If you'd like to do that, I'd love to see you.
Got a legend on the and anything.
Right.
It's got a legend on the box.
Right. Okay.
I couldn't believe it. I got it the peacocks.
All right.
I found it there.
Right.
That's bloody good. It's in there. Thank you.
Well, it's very
How's
kind.
Jennifer? What does Jennifer say?
Well, she's fine about it. Well, I mean, hey, nothing lasts forever.
I know. Did you think about that? The Will Smith in Chris Rock. Did you see it?
Yes, I saw. It was quite a slap. If it, it shouldn't have happened, but I understand why it did.
What he said about her though, about her saying G.I. Jane. She just said G.I. Jane.
No, well, the thing is, she's got a health condition. She doesn't wear hair like that because she wants to look like it. You know, it's a nasty thing, alopecia. It is.
Alopecia.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, he should say sorry to him and all. He should say sorry to Will Smith about his wife. He should say sorry.
Well, it's one thing having to go at a person. It's another thing having to go at the family.
That's
though.
right, I know.
They're not in
You've had go to me a few times and all.
I can't ever. Well, I mean, in fairness, you were at one point showing pictures of me getting out the bath, and that was a bit naughty, Jean. I remember that picture. Ian, I remember you writing that dirty thing in the book as well about penises.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean that. I'm sorry. Yeah, that's only a bit of phone. Yeah, I was talking on the phone. Yeah, I'm sorry.
You don't ever need to be sorry. Not when you're in a family and you're close. So you never need to say sorry. Ever.
I was naughty. What naughty?
What do you mean you were naughty?
You've been naughty, man, the lady.
I can't ever remember that. I don't remember that.
You don't want to either. You don't want to either. Right. But the snake like that. I want to Linda. Who you called? Linda?
Yeah. Linda's probably going to be on somewhere. She'll be about. We got time to chat.
Oh, well.
No worries.
I'll keep the line open.
Yes, stay on the line and I'll hand you back to Chris, who'll let me with you. Thanks, Jean. Take care, lover. Bye-bye.
You take care, love.
I will.
I'm 82 now. I'm 82.
82?
Huh?
Hell's bells, are you really? Good gracious.
Yeah.
You don't look a day over 81.
Oh.
I tell you, you've done good.
Mm-hmm.
So stay on the line. We'll sort you out. Thanks, Jean. There's Jean. Naughty laugh. You can tell. Ooh, that picture of me with me no clothes on, getting out of the bath. Collector's item in a scary kind of way. Oh, hang on. Time for the fourth clue. Let's do that then. We've got David from Cullercoats coming on. Clue number 1. Right. Each clue is a hit song. The answer is a hit song. All different ones. The first clue is a Sunderland supporter's nickname. Second clue, Nick Cotton's nickname in EastEnders. Third clue, horror film that features a horrific mask. There's a few of them, so you have to work around which one it was. And the fourth clue, something true about new things. Something true about new things. Something true. And it's how expensive the important things are. Okay? Or not. That's probably a better clue. I've written a crap fourth clue, so let me give you a fresh one. The name of the song tells you how expensive the most important things are. Okay? How expensive, I'm going to write that down because I will forget it. How expensive the most important things are. Okay? 4 clues, 4 songs. Whose Hits. Chris, do you have any idea who this is? He has none at all. So I'm going to switch off my microphone. So if you're watching at home, try and read my lips, because that'll be the answer, you see. Oh, I might do it on purpose just so that everybody knows, okay? Right, just for you, Chris. Hang on, here we go. Chris knows anybody watching has read my lips, and they've got it, and they're probably calling in right now. 0191 488 3188. Right, just done it again. So, let's see how you fare. David's in Cullercoats. Hi, David. Hello.
Hello, sir.
Hello, man. How you doing?
I knew how it was after 2 clues, but I won't say it.
Good lad. You're ahead of the game.
But, you should be a sir. I like that. I like the name Sir Alan Robson.
Hey.
And I think after all you've done for the North East, you know, you've gone out of your way. People have been assaulted and people who've been in need, who've had nothing, like in their homes. You've gone out of your way. You've even left the station to go and rescue them. And I think you've gone above and beyond for the North East people. There isn't a person in the North East that doesn't know your name.
Nice.
You're a star. I think you should be knighted for what you've done.
Hey, I don't worry about such things. It's nice that anybody gives a poo, if you know what I mean. And I really appreciate your kindness. Thank you for saying that, David. Thank you.
We're talking about memories. So I'm turning 50 next month.
Oh, congratulations.
But I remember the first time I phoned you I was 15 in 1987.
Right.
And I just made a film with an unknown actor called Robson Green.
Oh, yes. Come across him.
It was called Metro Watch.
Oh, how weird.
We took it around the schools. It was about me nana got mugged on the metro.
Right.
And it was all about violence on there. It's on YouTube for me sins now.
Wow, great.
But the cast had gone down to the North Shields Fish Key Festival.
Yes.
And we got people to chuck sponges at where, and we raised £500.
Excellent.
And I rang you to tell you how pleased we were.
Yeah, brilliant.
But I remember the days like listening in bed was like I had one earplug in the, you know, like in the transistor radio. I had to get like my dad's earwax out of it.
Oh, that's not
in the ear.
Tremendous.
But then, like being shouted at school the next day, my mum would be shouting, "Have you got that radio on?" But it was just the things I remember. There was a couple used to ring in, and I think the fella was called Johnny.
Yeah.
And they used to go to the bingo every night.
Yeah.
And she was paranoid that he was cheating on her.
Yeah.
And they would go to Greg's for a pasty and stuff. They used to ring in all the time. I used to laugh in bed so much. I think the neighbours could hear us just laughing in bed. They must have been wondering what I was doing.
Yeah.
Of course, the infamous Gene.
Yeah, of
Gene.
course. Absolutely.
You're playing the chicken noises and the pump noises when she was on there. It's just hilarious. And there was a lovely lady called, I think it was Doreen from Wide Open.
Yes, it was.
She was very calm spoken, and I think she'd been a nurse or a midwife.
Yes, nurse.
And she used to ring and she would say, "God bless you," and whatever. And I think she passed over.
Yes, did.
I think we lost her at some point. But
absolutely.
I always remember her calls.
Yeah, nice lady.
And I've been through like some dark times in my life, like after I lost my dad and like my disability was hitting in, sort of thing.
Yeah, but
I've gone from like able-bodied to like disabled within like what 5-7 years. And I became a bit of a recluse.
Right.
And I knew there would always be someone I could listen to.
Thank you.
And I had like virtual friends. It was all like a bit of a community when I had nobody.
Yeah, because you knew the names and you knew there was going to be a bit of patter and a bit of banter, and it kept you in part of the world.
Yeah.
Great. That's great.
And I'm trying to think of this, as you say, as you step out of one vehicle and you go into another.
That's what I hope too.
This is a new start.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You've been like a best friend to me. I think when you left a certain radio station, I came down on my walking frame and I had gifts for you all.
I remember.
Just daft things, but you were so busy, like you couldn't get to see us and stuff. And I've made so many friends. Linda from Barrisford, Val in Shieldfield, Sue from Washington, Davy the milkman, who's mad as anything. Ben Maborn. And Div Not Poo between 10 and 2.
That's the law. It's still a law. Just on a Sunday, though, you see. You can poo as much as you like through the week.
I know, but you will go on. I have every faith in you, Alan.
We're
I
trying.
really do.
I'll be doing
I
me
really
darndest, man, I promise you.
And I'll send you my love. And
thank you.
I'm sure you'll be back in some form soon.
Absolutely. And but this is important, you know. If you've considered this like losing your best friend, I'll be there. And if you need me, get in touch. Just find me where I am, and I'll do what I can.
I know you will.
All right,
Thank you
man.
so much, Alan.
Take care.
Everything.
Bye-bye. Love to you.
Love you, man.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Sweet. Kenny, when we're out and about, we quite often take the mickey out of, because he talks about how he was a successful dancer, and he was in nightclubs. He was hard to believe, he was a dancer, and he wore little goldie shorts and threw himself about. And he's got a dance routine to one song. So I'm going to play that song. The old church in England, Catholicism was on the run. And Catholics, eventually you got battles with Elizabeth against Mary, Queen of Scots, which was essentially Protestants against Catholics. That's what it was about. Some things never change. Ask any Rangers and Celtic supporter. So that was going on. So the monk decided, I'm going to come back. I'm going to come back here. I'm going to check it out. So he came back here, and he came walking up this path here. Light it up, Kenny. This one down here. He came walking up, and when he approached the bridge, he saw his two mates, the other two monks, walking across the bridge, and he thought, oh, how amazing is this? And it's across that bridge, which didn't used to look like that. It's the wooden bridge in the distance, not the green grassy one. There's a wood one in the distance. Can you not walk up and do a sponsored walk, Tony? We're used to you taking me as far as we can.
£1 a mile again, everyone.
I wish.
Thanks, supporters.
Yeah, we should put one of them things on our feet, you know, that count how many steps we're doing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, not this green. Do it, absolutely. So when these...
our legs.
No, we'll just go to the side so we can see it. Now, at the time, they didn't have abutments here that you could walk across.
Right.
It was all like trench. So the two monks were walking across that bridge when the other guy was approaching from roughly where the Tyne Theatre was going.
Right.
And
that's not someone there, is it?
I don't know. It may well be.
It is a person.
Oh, bless him. What a shame. And so he saw these two monks, and he come running towards them. And when he got to the bridge, he ran through them.
Oh,
because they were the spirits of the two dead monks. And they walked straight past him. And if you let me just use your torch for a second, they ended up going through. You see that door that's lit up just there?
Yeah. Yeah.
They went walking across the bridge, down and through the door. So it was obviously the spirits of the other monks, because they knew exactly where they were going. In the same way that sometimes at Lumley Castle, when we visited it, there was they see monks walking through walls, but it's nearly always where there used to be a door.
Yeah, because that's where they were.
Because that's where they were used to going. So that's just one of the stories, and it's based on that little tiny bridge. That's not the exact bridge, but that's the point where the bridge actually was. So fascinating it was in every way. And of course, it's because of the monks here that we've got the name Pilgrim Street.
Yeah.
You know, and we saw Pilgrim Street when we did the lower end Grizzly Trail.
Yeah.
In that bucket and rain
that
we had to suffer there. My goodness. Crazy.
Pilgrims marching down Jesmond Dean as well, isn't it?
Yeah, Jesus Mound. If
Yeah.
you remember, it's all.
Yeah.
So there's so many religious references here. But if we head down, our next port of call, you mentioned the Mayfair, which is a fab new venue, and on
Yeah.
top of them, it's not like the Mayfair, the
No,
one
no.
that I used to attend.
Yeah.
But it's a very cool eatery and bar now, and disco and dance floor.
DJ is good on a Sunday.
No, it's a cool place all the same. But down the bottom, it's on the corner, but there's a little alley that runs down.
Yeah.
Runs past it. You must have gone down there a few times in your
I've
life.
been through that alley.
Can you remember the name of the nightclub that used to be down there?
Oh, down here.
Down, you know where the Mayfair is. You go up and past where the old Mayfair used to be.
Dolce Vita?
The Dolce Vita.
Dolce Vita. I went there many a
Now,
time.
the Dolce Vita, there is a link to a ghost story at the Dolce from the Blackfriars here. Because, we talk about South Shields and the sand dancers and all this kind of stuff. Because there's a heavy Arab trading link with South Shields. And I'm so proud because everywhere you go, there's a link with a different part of the world, which is why people in the Northeast can't be stupid enough to be racist anymore, because we're surrounded by incredible links with abroad. Like this was the Chinese and Irish quarter, essentially.
Yeah.
For over 100 years. Watch your back, Johnny. You may die.
Didn't the Cray twins come to the Dolce Vita?
Yes.
So, the Cray twins coming from London, who everyone's heard of.
Chas Chandler, once of the Animals,
Yeah.
who managed Jimi Hendrix when he brought Jimi Hendrix up to play the Club of Go-Go.
Right,
You imagine
yes.
Hendrix at the Club of
It's
Go-Go?
crazy, isn't it?
Wow.
In the middle of Newcastle.
Then he went to the Dulce.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Amazing, isn't it?
Looking for women, I have no doubt. Or maybe he took his lady wife. I don't
Who
know.
knows?
Not going to cast aspersions. But just the Dulce had a reputation for being a place where men went to meet women and women went
I used to go there regularly.
to meet. Yeah, but you've got a contraceptive face.
My first ever club, that. Dolce
But the
Vita.
Dolce Vita, I said it had a link back to the Blackfriars area, and it's because a Muslim imam was put on shore by a ship that had picked him up in Morocco,
Right.
and obviously a Muslim priest. So nobody knew what to do with him. I mean, there would be a degree, a level of racism back then. I would hope it wasn't too bad for this guy because he liked it so much. He chose to stay in Newcastle, but he didn't have anywhere to live. So they said, well, why don't you go up to Blackfriars? That's where all the holy men go.
Yeah.
Now, this was at a time when, before King Henry dissolved all of the monasteries, so there was still somewhere for them to live. This guy was called Yusuf,
right?
Joseph, but
This
the
is
Arab.
real life conversation with the voice of the North.
This is Night Owls with Alan Robson.
Call 0191 488 3188.
Now, here's the thing. I don't know whether you read, for those of you watching on screen, not listening on radios, you'd have seen a little thing come up, and it was from a lady called Dee saying that she's got a letter saying, sorry, you didn't make, like a rejection letter, that we didn't want her for the Bladette. Now, in fairness, I didn't make that decision because we had a choreographer that did all those kind of things. However, Dee, trust me, knowing me, make a mistake with women, I've made those kind of mistakes all my life. So my apologies to you, and I'm sure you'd have been a fab Bladette. Anyway, let's crack on. 4 clues, they're already out there, so can you sort it out? The first clue, a Sunderland supporter's nickname. Second clue, Nick Cotton's nickname in EastEnders. Third clue, a horror film that featured a horrific mask. And the fourth clue, the last two are duets this person did with other people. How important the most important things are, or how expensive rather, how expensive the most important things are. Okay? how expensive the most important things are. 4 clues, 4 greatest hits. Whose hits? Ring Chris now if you've got any idea, because a lot of you have no clue. 0191 488 3188. Give me a ring and get yourself on the big one. Stefan's next from Newcastle. Hi, Stefan.
Hey, Alan.
Hello, mate.
Hey, Alan. You all right,
I'm
mate?
champion. Thank you very much. What can we do for you tonight then, Stefan?
It's just a shame that you're coming to an end at the end of April.
Hey, no worries.
I watch you every weekend.
We'll rise again, no worries. But thank you very much for...
You reckon you'll end up on another station?
We'll end up somewhere, and wherever it is, we'll make the best of it. That's the deal.
Oh, that's good. When you do come back on, eventually, hopefully you go on 6 days like you used to be.
Well, the plan would certainly be more than one, that's for sure. So, yeah.
If you definitely need it. You definitely need more than one.
Well, thank you. Right, okay. Anything else?
Oh yeah, I love your ghost hunts on the Wednesday as well.
Excellent. Oh, that's good. You watch the dirty mix.
It's just a shame. It's just a shame I did. It's just a shame I didn't know you were in Newcastle, because I would have been up and got a signature off you.
Hey, that's never a problem. If anybody ever sees us anywhere near where you are, and we'll be around again, don't worry about that. If anybody ever sees us, just
again soon.
Well, we may be doing the problem I had with this version was that there's a big part of Newcastle that we didn't touch. Up beside the university, the town moor, which is very famous for stories, right away past the Blue House roundabout. There's amazing stories. I just have to put it together. Just we didn't have enough time to do it all in one go, because the distances to get from the Blue House into town, that's a canny walk.
Would have been a lot.
And it's a long walk with not too much happening there. But if we start up there and just do that area, maybe we can get around there, because there's stories of the Cavaliers.
I live near there.
Well, there you go. Well, hey, we will be up that top end at some point. It's not going to be this week, but it'll be within the next 2 or 3 months, I think. I'm fairly sure we'll do.
Do you reckon you'll do more ghost hunts as well?
Every week on the Wednesday for supporters and Friday for the edited version. Right.
Why did you change from Thursdays to Wednesdays? Sorry.
It was just so we had more time to turn around the end show with it looking even better. And if ever we've got drone footage or whatever, we need time to put that into the show. And we've got like 3 cameras recording all the time, so we need a bit of time to put it together. You see the rough mix on a Wednesday, so you see that warts and all. True. So you can see it before it happens, which is what a lot of you guys like to do.
It's great. It's great. I absolutely love it.
Champion. That's good news.
I watch it with my mum as well. We'll watch it together.
Brilliant.
Your mum's a big supporter of you as well.
It's a family affair. Well, thank you very much, Stefan. Thank you for calling in. Appreciate your time.
You take care.
Thanks, man. Bye-bye. Oh, that's nice. I love it when it's like the whole family kind of thing. It's what super quizzes were for, really, if you remember. Gathering everybody you know that you thought might be remotely clever and trying to pot a prize or two. Let's go to Rotherham. Let's bother them in Rotherham. We got Andrew there. Hello, Andrew.
All right, Alan. How you doing, lad?
I'm all right, man. Thanks for coming on. What do you want to talk about?
Well, it was basically, we just got in tonight for being at the the first direct arena for War of the Worlds.
Oh, right. Was it any good?
Outstanding. It's the 5th time we've been there now.
Right.
Well, we just popped on Facebook there. It was the first things you do as we come in, because we didn't get into it, gone half 11.
Right.
Saw the news and just, I had to put something on the Facebook there. So it's a sad day for British radio, as they say.
Well, thank you. Thank you for caring.
You might have read me post. I was the one who put about the 4th Doctor at the end, but the moment has been prepared for.
Yes, I saw that. It's brilliant. Great. Out of all the quotes, that's the one that hit the mark. So thank you very much.
Yes. And like I say, I've listened to you from back till the early 80s, so I've known you more than my 2 wives. So, second one still listening to you as well, also. We're still in a good bar.
No, well, that's all right. She's a decent one.
But you may remember me otherwise if I just say parachute and rabbit.
Oh, I know very well, and also the rabbits. Both rabbits will never forget that.
Definitely.
That whole situation. That's
But yes,
fantastic.
I'm going to be good at that. You're not be on every night. It's been bad enough not having on Metro, but it's because when I used to have a lot of surgery. Even though we live in Rotherham, I always come up to Sunderland still for surgery.
Right.
So, and I was due up soon to get my arm off.
Oh,
so that was something to look forward to. But apparently it's going to be red, so hopefully they've got good network internet so I can listen to you on the line anyway.
Well, hey, we'll
But
find
it's
out
that day
where.
for the. But hopefully we'll get you around other ways.
Well, I hope
I
so.
just thought that's it. The day that you were off the radio was the thought of the day you'd die.
Me too. No, me too.
Radio.
Absolutely. I want to go the Tommy Cooper way. That's absolutely the way to be, man. But hey, thank you very much, Andrew. Bless you, man. And tell me about your arm. What's the crack with your arm?
Well, obviously, with the one of the problems I had when I broke my back, I'm not very good on my feet. And one time, probably about 20 years ago now, I literally just fell out in the street without a lass, and I sort of did a roly-poly and got up, just didn't hurt or anything. And then it was half an hour later, I went to start the car. I thought, oh, that doesn't feel right. And then, so went up to the Royal, and doctor there says, oh, you probably just sprained it. And it turned out I'd literally exploded the elbow. So over the years, I've had
that'd be agony.
Operations to try and reconstruct the arm, but it's got so bad now. We're up the taking the arm off now.
Is it a left or a righty?
Me right dominant.
Oh, blimey. Well, I tell you, give yourself a year, you'll be left dominant.
Yeah.
That's a fact, man. Hey, be strong. I'm sorry to hear that, man. That's awful.
I've been trying to be left dominant for the last 15 years, and I was going great.
No, and if we can ignore the fact, I'm not going to be sexist in any which way, but a phrase that only men will understand. It's like a stranger, isn't it? Do you know what I mean?
Most definitely.
Hey, well, good luck to you. Let's know how you get on, Andrew, and all the best to you.
Cheers.
Thanks, man.
We'll keep out on your own line.
All right, man. Bye-bye. Oh, what a shame. Very quickly, we're running fast out of time, but we've got Sandeep on from Newcastle. Hi, Sandeep.
Hi, Alan. How are you?
I'm all right. Great to hear from you. What can we do for you tonight?
I just wanted to say thank you very much for Night Owls for all them years. You know, I like a lot of your listeners. I think I started listening in the late 80s and early 90s through the 90s and stuff. And it kind of inspired me to kind of get involved. So I'm one of the founders of Spice FM, which is local community radio station.
We love Spice. Absolutely.
Thank you. So I just want to say thank you. I'm actually a first-time caller after all them years.
No, hey, it's great to hear from you, Sandeep. Give me love to Doc and And as well. We love him.
I will do. And just want to say thank you, and obviously best of luck with all your new ventures, and we'll be tuning in and stuff.
That's kind of you. Thank you, Sandeep, and love to you and yours. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you, mate.
Cheers, man. Bye-bye. There you go. Fellow pro from Spice FM. Right, we are a minute away from having to take my leave. So I tell you what, I think hang on, have we got time to... Let's have a quick Slug. Slug from Middlesbrough's there. Hiya, Slug.
Now then.
Hello, man.
Right. Friday, I made a mistake.
Oh, what's that?
I was watching your thing. I just caught the end of it, and I thought, oh, he's at Acklam Hall. So I jumped in my van, flew around Acklam Hall. No, but I heard what's gone on, because you mentioned it earlier on.
Right.
You recorded it on a different night.
Yes, Wednesday.
And, yeah. So totally waste of time. I thought, I'll make a chance to see you. Now, staying with that, I think I did actually see you. I won tickets. I think it was Bigfoot. It was a pub in South Shields. You go under a bridge. It's just on the right-hand side.
Know it.
And were you at the back? Were you Daft Hat on?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, where else? Where else would I be?
I was stood up. Well, I don't know, because you were facing forward. You want to be there to see much.
Right.
If I'm right.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyway, I was just over your left shoulder, so I almost met you. I just wasn't sure at the time, you know.
You should always tap and say, oh yeah, and I'll say guilty as charged. So hey, no worries. I'm out of time, but lovely talking to you, Slug. Thanks for coming on.
Okay.
Take it
no
easy,
worries.
man. Bye-bye. Oh, hey, we've got to catch Slug a bit earlier next time. Piece of music just to wrap tonight's show, which gives you about 4 and a bit minutes to answer tonight's clues. You've heard them. See if you can do them.